Football Fridays in Georgia, presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to buckle up, Georgia, as we welcome you to Tom Ryden Stadium in Buford, where tonight the Carver Panthers have traveled north from Atlanta to take on the #1 ranked Buford Wolves. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by former Auburn Tigers All-American, NFL first-round draft pick and 15-year pro Wayne Gandy. And Wayne, doing a game at Buford is like stepping on the movie set of Friday Night Lights. It is truly a football power. They have 3 5-stars, 7 4-stars, 9 3-stars, 33 players who have college scholarship offers.
It's homecoming, Matt. It's time to get down. It's a great environment, a lot of energy. Excited to be up here with these Buford Wolves.
#1 on the list is Dylan Raiola, the #1 prospect in the entire country, 5-star quarterback, committed to the Georgia Bulldogs, transferred to Buford from Phoenix, Arizona during the summer.
Big kid, 6'4", 220. You could just see the energy when he throws the ball. He's a phenomenal athlete, has a great arm, and his best attribute, talking to the coaches, is how he's been a leader in the locker room, on the field, and in the classroom.
The other 2 5-stars are KJ Bolden, wide receiver / safety, committed to Florida State, and defensive lineman Edric Houston, committed to The Ohio State.
What a dynamic duo to have on the defensive side. Mr. Bolden can do anything on both sides of the ball. What a great athlete. And then inside with Houston, what a house wrecker he is. He can rush the passer, and yeah, he can shut down the run.
All right, the Carver Panthers, truly a gritty, scrappy team. They take on all challengers. That's evidenced by the fact they're even here tonight. They play in 3A, and they're also playing with a heavy heart this week after their defensive coordinator, Ozzie Harrell, passed away suddenly last Saturday.
Already a gritty team that comes in on the emotional high of trying to play for a coach tonight. Taking on this big team of Buford should be a great game for them.
Let's talk about their players. Let's start with Roderick Hunter. He's a 3-star safety, also plays wide receiver, and he's committed to Akron.
What a dynamic athlete, especially at the safety position with his man Stone. But on the offensive side, his versatility, being able to play running back, maybe a little quarterback. That could be what could be the difference maker in this game.
And their defensive end, Jamontez Hines, is nearly unblockable.
All energy all the time. Just a powder keg, talking to the coaches, waiting to happen. He already has 7 sacks on the season. Look at him trying to get to Raiola tonight to try to knock that ball out, a couple of turnovers.
So it's Carver and Buford. Should be a fun game. Let's get the carousel started and send it off to John Nelson.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening, Wayne. Good evening to you, Matt. Good evening to all of you, however you are accessing us, large device or small. Okay, the elephant in the room. Why is Carver Atlanta scheduling Buford? There are a couple of different reasons. One, Carver Atlanta needed a game. Their region only has 3 region games in it, so they've got to schedule 7 non-region games to get to 10. Reason number 2, the relationship between these two coaches, Coach Miles and Coach App, actually goes back as far as 10th grade, when Coach Miles' mom actually taught Coach App. So the relationship is there. They played 3 out of the last 4 years. Give you a third reason. Chasing after a game 15. In AAA, Coach Miles wants to be tested. He's called the environment here at Tom Ryden Stadium one of the most beautiful environments you can play in the state of Georgia. He wants to be tested for that long road trip that could be to Pierce County. It could be to Calvary Day. It could be to Savannah Christian. So if you're going to get to that game 15, you're going to have to go through environments like this. Why not go up against the team that is ranked top 5 in the country? Hannah, we know Carver's getting ready for a game 15. We saw somebody on the Buford side getting ready for a game 15 very, very early on.
Yeah, John, I caught up with Dylan Raiola before the game. He said Buford is such a special place to play. He was the very first player out here, so you know he will be ready tonight. All right, we are not only broadcasting live from Tom Ryden Stadium, we will also be coming to you from Hampton, Georgia for our web game, which is the region opener between Dutchtown and Warner Robins. You can watch that on gpb.org/sports and the GPB Sports app. All right, guys, while you are on the app, you can vote right here on the QR code for our poll question of the day, which is who's going to win this game, Carver Atlanta or Buford? So go do that right now. And check out halftime. We've got homecoming festivities. We've got the Make That Kid an Offer segment, as well as the You Save It Pharmacy Georgia Player Spotlight. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you guys then. Until then, Matt and Wayne, take it away.
All right, thank you, Hannah. And she's right. Dylan Raiola was the first guy out on the field tonight, about 5 o'clock, first guy on the field. Opening kickoff is brought to you by Buckle Up Georgia. Buckle Up Georgia. Seatbelts save lives. Buford won the opening toss. They have deferred to the second half. And the opening kick is going to sail into the end zone. So Carver is going to start at the 20-yard line. And Wayne, we're going to see two quarterbacks tonight for the Panthers. Adam Sheely, number 11, will be the first guy out the gate. 6'3", 190 senior.
Great athlete, can move around in the pocket. Can he set his feet and throw the ball? That's the big question. Can his O-line protect him, give him time to get the ball downfield?
You see the numbers. He's completed right at 46% of his passes for 547. That's 182 a game, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But number 10, Montavious Banks, is going to play tonight as well. He's the junior. Sheely is the senior. And Latea Stepp is the running back, number 21, that lines up next to him. He has been their leading rusher out of 3 for the first 3 games of the season. And Stepp gets the opening handoff and does not make it back to the line of scrimmage. He gets swallowed up at the 19-yard line by big Bryce Perry Wright, number 3, the cousin of Grady Jarrett.
Nice job there by Wright, keeping that outside arm open, working down the line of scrimmage. Whenever you can be mentioned with a Grady Jarrett, you got to be of great pedigree. Big guy right there, 6'3", only a sophomore. What a phenomenal athlete coming off the edge.
Only a sophomore, Wayne, and he already has 26 offers. And the keeper by Sheely, he's going to go down again, is Bryce Perry Wright in on a tackle again. That's 2 TFLs on the opening 2 plays. As you take a look at Carver's offense, brought to you by Regions Bank. Thomas, Tyler, Johnson, Armour, and Thomas. Only Johnson, the only returning starter, is Kelton McCrary out tonight. Johnson, Hill, Stepp, Hunter, and Kemp are the receivers and the running back. Get back in the game with Regions Bank. 3rd down and long now for Carver. Handoff goes to Stepp, makes a man miss, and Stepp gets about 13 yards on the play, all the way up to the 29-yard line. Going to be short of the first down, needed 14.
Looks like Coach Miles was considering maybe going forward. That's what kind of team he knows he's against. And these kind of 4th and shorts, he's going to have to take some gambles. Very interesting early on if he tries this, Matt, but we know the kind of team that Buford has. Great run there by Stepp, picking up that yardage to give them room to even think about this.
On 4th and 1, Carver keeps the offense on the field at their own 29-yard line. Let's see if this is just going to try to pull Buford off sides. Nope, they're going to snap it. And Sheely going to keep it. He's not going to get there. Got knocked backwards by Jaden Perlotti, the Georgia commit, and the ball goes over on downs.
Great job there initially coming off the edge, not buying on the fake. It's John Frazier, number 47 here. He's right there, comes up from the backside actually to bring him down. Bryson Banks, the 3-star James Madison commit, coming in to finish it off. You can see the frustration, but Coach Miles knows he has a handful on him tonight. He's going to have to take a couple gambles, but big stands by the defense right there for Buford.
You're exactly right. It was Banks and not Perlotti who had the big hit that denied Sheely the first down. And now here's Dylan Raiola, the quarterback. Going to hand off to Kobe Blackwell, and Blackwell gets thrown forward for about 3 yards on the play. Blackwell getting the start tonight. Their 4-star running back, Justin Baker, is out tonight with a medical issue. So Kobe Blackwell, who's a 3-star athlete himself, getting the start at running back.
And that's how this Buford team attacks you, especially from the running back position. Each and every person they put in there is very capable on their own to dominate the game.
2nd down and 8. They throw the ball to Jordan Allen, their top wide receiver, and Allen is going to be close to a first down inside the 20-yard line. As we take a look at the Regions Bank starting lineup for the Wolves. Up front, DeMarco getting the start in place of the injured Braden Jacobs at left tackle. Clark, McCammon, Green and Forrester. Green and Forrester, both college prospects. And then you go Bolden, Blackwell, Bennett, Berry, and Allen, the backs, the wide receiver, and tight end. We have a penalty here, going to back up Buford.
Ty White trying to hold that corner for his teammate. Long time out there on a receiver to have to hold that corner. Get called for the hands outside.
So that erases the first down, and it is a big penalty. So now it's going to be second down with the ball sitting at the 37 and the line to gain the 19. So second down, and let's call it 19, 18 or 19. Allen in motion again. Raiola to the air, and up top it goes, and intercepted at the 10-yard line, and a flag out. Roderick Hunter, who we just talked about in the open, comes up with the interception. There's a flag on the play, but if that interception stands, that'll be the first that he's thrown in a Buford uniform.
It's like a holding there on Favors on KJ Bolden, but big mistake there by Raiola on that pass. Really nothing down the field, felt the pressure, kind of just laid the ball out there. Would be a big break for Buford if they got this holding call. No receiver really in the area right there. Those two safeties, Hunter and Stone, are playing a high-quality football for this Panther defense.
Wow, defensive holding erases a big interception by Roderick Hunter.
Right here, feeling that pressure coming in off the edge. As you can see, only white jerseys in the area, but the flag comes out right there in the area where KJ Bolden was running down the seam. Huge break for Buford right there.
On the defense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, replay second down.
He was actually hit as he threw, so that affected the pass. Erases the interception, so they'll put the ball down at the 27.5, and now it's going to be second down and about 9. So a couple of big penalties. One on Carver, one on Buford. Pressure again as they get to Raiola, and he gets it out of there. Throws it complete to Allen anyway at the 25-yard line. What a throw by Raiola. And he may be hurt on the play. No, that's one of the offensive linemen. That's a 13-yard completion.
Big pressure by Michael Johnson, number 52, coming off the edge here on DeMarco. Hit him with the bull rush. Look at the strength here of Raiola. Still remembering where his receiver, Jordan Allen, was out in the flat. Looks like they're going to take DeMarco out, but you can see the bull rush right there. Still poised to remember where his receivers are, Raiola, for that completion and pick up of the first down.
An absolutely phenomenal completion by Raiola. He was almost parallel to the ground and down for the sack and still got it out of there, showing you his great strength at 6'4", 220 pounds, and they picked up the first down. So 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Another flag. Looks like Carver might have jumped.
On with the hard count.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
So just how deep is Buford on that line of scrimmage? So Braden Jacobs, the 4-star, out tonight with his injury. Pierce DeMarco stepped in and started. He's come off the field, and now another guy, Ben Mabinga, who has 9 offers, including LSU, Auburn, and Mississippi, whose brother's already at LSU, steps in at left tackle. Handoff goes to Kobe Blackwell, and Blackwell down inside the 5-yard line. As we take a look at Carver's defense, it's brought to you by Regions Bank. And there's Hines, Printup, Bryant Brown, and Johnson up front. They've been very active in their first 3 games. Stepp, Young, and Dowdell in the linebacking core. And then Favors, Stone, Hunter, and Hill, the 2 big prospects for the Panthers. They're lined up side by side at the safety position. Josh Stone is committed to Arkansas State.
Keep on 52. We saw him with that bull rush. Michael Johnson, only a sophomore, but he's having a great season for this Panther defense. Him and his other inmate, Hines, are having an outstanding season coming off the edge rushing.
1st and goal to go inside the 5. pressure. Raiola scrambles and takes on the defender and goes down at the 3-yard line. Good job by Torum Kemp, the corner, to come up and make that tackle.
Nowhere to go with the ball. Nice job of improvising here by Raiola. Play action fake. Nothing there. One-man route. And here's a big kid, as we talked about in the open match, when you talk about Raiola at 6'4", 220, big thighs, strong runner.
Kemp, the 165-pound corner, took him head on. 2nd down and goal. Handoff Blackwell, not going to get there, as this defense for Carver coming up strong. That's Jaden Dowdell in on the tackle.
Nice job there by Dowdell, the junior, coming through. Physical type linebacker here, number 7, just slicing through the bodies, cleaning up the mess to make that tackle. Outstanding goal line stands here by the Panthers so far.
Panthers defense has been good despite their 1-2 start. They've just been on the field too long this season. The offense has to pick it up a little bit for them. Toss goes to Blackwell. He fumbled and it's scooped up by Carver. Off to the races. Across the 50. Will he be caught? Slams on the brakes, goes down at the 25-yard line. Jamontez Hines recovers the fumble inside the 5 and returns it 70 yards the other way.
Jamontez Hines, we talked about him in the open. What a dynamic player he has been. All energy all the time. Fumble in the backfield by Blackwell. Hines picking it up, trying to get to the end zone. Big play for Carver Atlanta.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to be safe on every trip. Buckle up, Georgia.
Riding down the road and you're doing just fine when a car in front of you crosses over the line. They're in your space, not looking at your face. Distracted drivers all over the place. Say, we will buckle up. Sing it. Say, we will buckle up.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
Welcome back to Tom Ryden, 5:37 for the first. It's time to talk about our friends from Cigna and our friends from Buford. I know this man's father. He was my principal at Lakeside. Tom Bugles, the AD here at Buford. Tom, $1,500 from our friends from Cigna to you guys here at Buford. Thanks for being a great friend of Football Fridays and at GPB.
Thank you. We're just happy. We appreciate the support of GPB and Cigna, and appreciate y'all coming out tonight and giving us the opportunity to play on TV, and appreciate the coverage you guys do for high school football.
Once again, that's $1,500 from our friends from Cigna to our friends here at Buford. Let's send it back upstairs for the remainder of the first quarter with Matt and Wayne.
All right, thank you, Nelly. And a big play by Jamontez Hines on the scoop and 70-yard return. Wayne, it gives Carver the ball at the Buford 25.
Great defensive stance and gave their offense the short field on the other side, and let's see if they can capitalize here with a switch at quarterback.
Banks now in there at quarterback, goes up top for Kemp, and there's going to be a flag out on Buford. Going to have a DPI right here on the Wolves inside the 10-yard line. And Montavious Banks makes his first appearance in this game, comes on the second series.
Coach Hines warned us that Banks would get in early. Each and every game he seems to be put more and more in the rotation, a little shorter at the quarterback position.
Well, I think he pointed in Carver's direction. The penalty's going against them. No, he was wrong the first time. Okay.
First down.
Microphone was breaking up a little bit, but this is going to be a DPI on Buford and give Carver a first down at the Wolves' 15-yard line. High snap over Banks' head. He's got to get on top of that, and he does. Way back at the 34-yard line. They lost 19 yards on that play. Let's take a look at Buford on defense, brought to you by Regions Bank. Houston, the commit to Ohio State. Nico Maggio, Bryce Perry Wright. We've talked about him already. The linebacking core, Perlate, who's committed to Georgia, Banks, Walker, and Frazier. And then in the secondary, Garland, White, Bolden, and Gilbert. And K.J. Bolden is the #1 ranked safety in the entire country. Banks in the middle and overshoots his target right in the middle of the field. Looking for Kemp again.
Can this offensive line hold up for Carver is the big question right there. Banks looking for Kemp. Well covered on the back end. This defense, that's what they want to do. They want to force you into 3rd and longs with this secondary and this talent. Let these pass rushers come after you. A lot of pressure here on Montavious Banks, especially in this situation. Maybe a team that hasn't tried any field goals, so maybe get about half of this back for Coach Miles.
3rd down and long. Run right up the middle by Stepp. He gets to the 31. It's going to be 4th down. Let's see what they do here.
Nice job getting off the block there by 44. Holloway. Nico Maggio also in there. The 3-star nose tackle. Keeping the offense on the field. These situations, looking for someone trying to find a one-on-one matchup with Banks.
Banks is the 6-foot, 160-pound junior, led them to 2 second-half scores in their loss last week against Stevenson.
Off coverage by the Wolves secondary. They're going to give up that underneath route and come up and make the tackle.
And now a timeout's going to be called by Darren Miles and Carver. So while they discuss what they're going to do on this big 4th down and long, we'll step aside as well.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Cigna Healthcare. Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
While we've got a quick break in the action, did you know that the same area of just one football field can contain up to 95 termite colonies? That's why you need Breda Pest Management to defend your home. Breda, the official pest control of high school football.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an Oxy or Perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Welcome back to Tom Ryden. 4:08 to go in the first. This is only part of your multi-screen experience tonight. Where's the other part, you may ask? At gpb.org/sports. For that, you go to Dutchtown. Warner Robins right now and Dutchtown, the home Bulldogs, leading 6-0, and they are driving again. They are close to yet another score. Interesting story, Warner Robins 1-2, Dutchtown 1-3, and they've scored yet again. So it's gone from 6-0 to 12. PAT is pending. Early returns. Warner Robins is on the ropes, Matt, down 13-0. Brought to us by our friends at Breda Pest Management all season long. Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of high school football.
Yeah, Dutchtown, a semifinalist team a year ago. Warner Robins in their 5th straight state championship game. Both of them off to rocky starts. On 4th down, Banks is going to run. Banks gets to the 20, to the 15, and Banks dives forward to the 8-yard line, but going to come up short of the 1st down. And the ball's going to go over on downs. They just had too much real estate to try to make up.
Only 3 men rushing for Buford, getting out of their rush lane. Nice jobs there by Banks, finding the open space. Watch how he just slides out to the left here. Look at that open green area. Only 1 man to beat. Just hard to get around that kind of distance. Big tackle there by Schlipman. to bring him down in the open field.
They needed 24, and Banks was able to get 21. So Buford's going to take over at the 11-yard line is where they'll spot it. So both these teams had great field position. Buford's first possession started at the 29, and Carver's second possession started at the Buford 25. Both of them in enemy territory, but neither team able to score yet. They run right into the teeth of that Carver defense that so far has been very good tonight. That was Dylan McCoy with the carry. As Wayne, we take a look at your Breda Pest Management keys to the game.
For this Buford offense, establishing the run. We talked about Dylan Raiola and his ability, the #1 prospect. But this Buford team, they feast and famine on being able to run the ball. They got to control the line of scrimmage. And for Carver and this defensive unit, as we saw in that last drive, getting a turnover. They really have to help their offense out by maybe scoring, get them in the short field, but they need to knock the ball out of Buford's hands.
Empty backfield now. 6 carries, 8 yards for Buford so far, rushing the ball. Up top and man open, and a spectacular catch by Devin Williams out close to the 40-yard line.
Nice job of Devin Williams, the 4-star junior, going and getting this 5'10", 165. Watch how he lays out, grabs this ball by the back end and pulls it in, hands under the ball. Nice grab, laying out a lot of open area if he could have kept his feet, but sacrificing, diving, and making that catch for his quarterback.
30-yard catch for Devin Williams, who's rated as the #5 cornerback in the class of 2025. 31 offers, including Alabama, Tennessee, and Auburn. But also a wide receiver for this Buford team. 1st and 10 for the Wolves. Ball out to their 41. Toss goes to McCoy, and McCoy's going to get about 3 yards on the play. Dowdell in on that tackle for Carver again.
Nice job by Dowdell. We've seen that a couple of times already tonight. Good job of using his hands. Only a junior, physical guy. Coach said, keep your eye on this guy. That safety wheel position, he can make plays right there. Good tackle in the open field.
Dylan McCoy with a couple of carries on this series. Only 6 carries in their first 3 games. A sophomore that's already been offered by Ole Miss. And again, Justin Baker, their 4-star running back and lead rusher, out tonight with a medical issue, so he will not be playing. Saw him out there on the field without pads. Raiola being chased. Hines misses him. And then they tackle him at the 42-yard line, maybe up to the 44-yard line. Great pursuit by that Carver defense again.
Jamontez Hines showing you that speed to recover underneath and then being able to run down and get in the wheels of Raiola and forcing him to have to run the ball. But high energy guy is Hines. Right again, showing you the athletic ability is Raiola to get out of trouble and make a yard or two out of nothing.
No doubt playing inspired defense after their defensive coordinator stunningly. Ozzie Harrell passed away on Saturday morning. He had not been with the team on Friday night against Stevenson. Ball in the air, and it's caught out on the edge by Payne inside the 40-yard line. Kemp making the tackle. That'll be another first down for Buford.
Busted assignment down the sideline here. No one taking the back out of the backfield, running down just a wheel route. Nice tackle coming over by Kemp to bring down Allen in that situation. But just a busted assignment by this Carver defense.
Jordan Allen, 3-star athlete, 14 offers, including the Georgia Bulldogs. Listed as an athlete by the recruiting services. He's been the top wide receiver for Buford through their first 3 games. Already has a couple of catches tonight. 1st and 10. Running a end around to K.J. Bolden. Bolden slips a tackle inside the 20. Tight ropes the sideline, steps out of bounds at the 19-yard line. First time we've seen KJ touch the ball, he goes for 18.
Just a man you want the ball in his hands with the athletic ability and the speed, little end around. Nice job initially there by Joshua Stone, forcing it inside. But when you have that kind of athleticism by that young man, what an exciting career he's put on here for Buford. Top safety in the country. And they haven't really opened the offense up with him, but we know how dangerous he can be out on the edge.
And he's committed to Florida State. Play action. And caught by Allen. Helmets gets knocked off with the impact of the tackle by Kemp. And hopefully Allen's okay.
Big hit by Turian Kemp. Pressure in the face by Marcus Young. You can see the helmet come out. But what a tough kid right there. Jordan Allen knew he was going to take that hit, still went out and grabbed that ball. Let's hope that it's just he got the wind knocked out of him in that case.
Yeah, it looked like he took the helmet right in the side. It was a clean hit by Taurean Kemp, but a really strong hit at that, and now they're helping Allen to sit up with 18 seconds to play in the quarter. So Allen's going to be okay, it looks like.
Nice hands. Allen has already displayed. We saw him with the wheel route where he laid out and caught the ball right there. Knowing he was going to take the hit, still went off his feet, grabbed the ball. Good to see him walking off.
Already has 3 catches for 37 yards here in the first quarter. 15 catches for 295 in their first 3, averaging right at 98 yards receiving per game. For a Buford team that's been known to mash the football. And Coach Brian Appling says their goal is still to be 50-50, even though they have the #1 quarterback in the nation. They want to be a 50-50 offense. Second down might be the final play of the quarter. Handoff trying to get to the edge and out of bounds. And the first carry of the night for Ethan Irvin on the final play of the quarter. And it's going to be 3rd down and short when we come back and start the second. Scoreless after 1 quarter at Tom Wrighton Stadium in Buford. Carver defense playing big.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Georgia's EMCs. So much more than electricity.
In lively towns and peaceful rural areas, Georgia's electric membership cooperatives are on a mission to provide a different kind of electricity. Our not-for-profit, member-owned EMCs are focused on making life better for members. At private residences, farms, and thriving businesses, we work for you. Generating safe, reliable, affordable electricity, giving back to local programs, serving our members to make life brighter. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
Let me know if I can help you with anything. Just looking. I only buy local and sustainable, so.
Oh, well, that shirt's not local. You should be wearing cotton. Georgia's a major supplier of cotton worldwide, so if you'd like to buy local to support Georgia, buying cotton's a great place to start. It's renewable and sustainable, naturally.
Thanks.
And that's a polyester fiber made of oil, by the way.
Where's your dressing room?
Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being.
Start of the second quarter, Carver and Buford scoreless as we begin this period. And our sincerest condolences to the Carver Panthers football family. As we mentioned, the stunning death of their defensive coordinator, Ozzie Harrell, just 36 years old, passed away suddenly on Saturday from a heart issue. His funeral will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And amazingly and tragically, not the first time for this program. Back in January, their offensive coordinator, Kevin Bell, at the age of 47, also passed away from congestive heart failure. So just amazing. Their 2 coordinators, both of them have died in the span of 9 months. And our sincerest condolences to this Carver family. Amazing that these players have been able to rally and even play tonight.
Especially the way this defense played in that first quarter, inspiring for Coach Bell, passing away. They are coming out intense and playing hard for him.
3rd down and 1, caught for the touchdown, K.J. Bolden. 10-yard touchdown pass from Raiola to K.J. Bolden. and a 6-0 lead for Buford.
Just a hard cover out for Khalid Hill in the slot. KJ Bolden running a slant route right there, right in front of him. Great protection, no pressure in the face. Good ball leading Bolden into the end zone there by Raiola.
4th touchdown pass reception of the season for Raiola, or rather for Bolden from Raiola. Mario Ventura on for the PATs, a perfect 8 for 8 this season. Sam Harkness, a wide receiver, is the holder, and Dawson Whitkey is the long snapper. Everything perfect about that, including the kick. Here's a look at your Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign scoring drive. 10 plays, 89 yards, just over 4 minutes. 10-yard touchdown pass, Raiola to Bolden, and a 7-0 lead for Buford.
Still having to do work through the air on that drive right there. Dylan Raiola being able to deliver the ball a couple of times to Jordan Allen for the touchdown to KJ Bolden. This Carver team has taken the run game. That's something we talked about with Buford coming in, still trying to establish the run. So far, having to work the ball down the field with the arm of Raiola. Nice drive, though, to get on the board by the Wolves.
He was 5 for 5, 77 yards. So 77 of the 89 yards came from his arm in that drive. Really still kind of surprising. Carver defense has really shut down the Buford running game to this point.
Staying low, coming off the ball, working off of the edges, Johnson and Hines, and just playing with a lot of toughness and grit. They knew that this team, Buford, comes in to bully you at the offensive line, and they're taking the challenge on.
Kemp and Favors standing deep for Carver, and the ball is coming down at the 2. Fumbled there by Kemp. He'll pick it up. Kemp on the strong return up to the 27-yard line. So a nice return by Torrin Kemp. 25-yard return. There's a flag out on the play as well. Kemp is that guy that they're counting on to replace DeAndre Buchanan, who's off to a great start in his college career at Georgia Southern.
Might have a personal foul, dead ball foul here.
Dead ball, still foul.
Well, on the receiving team and half the distance to the goal. Wayne, let's take a look at your keys to the game. It's brought to you by Breda Pest Management.
This Carver Panther offense, the offensive line, they've been kind of musical chairs. So far in this game, they're holding their own. They're going to have to continue that to give these quarterbacks time against this pressure defense, and for Buford, 2 yards or less. That's what they're trying to create on first downs, force Panthers to have to throw the ball in 2nd and 3rd and long, where they excel as a defense.
Adam Sheely back in there at quarterback for his 2nd series out of the first 3. Sheely fires, complete to Kemp, and Kemp with the catch and up to the 21-yard line as he gets close to 7 on the play.
Good protection, good pocket right there for Sheely. When he has time to set his feet, he can really throw the ball right here. Good play action fake, just getting the ball out, getting some positive yards.
And you mentioned the musical chairs for Carver on the offensive line. Only 2 returning starters from last year's state semifinal team, McCrary and Johnson. McCrary is out again tonight. Although they did get good news on him. His MRI was positive. So he will not be out the entire season. Let's check in with John Nelson. He's got an injury report.
Injury update on Jordan Allen under the tent right now. Shoulder pads are off, and right now they've got his arm in a bit of a makeshift sling, ice on the shoulder itself. Looks like obviously his night's done. We'll ask Coach Japp about it at the half.
Wow, that's bad news for Buford and Jordan Allen. Hopefully he can get back to 100% health very soon. He's been a dynamic player for them in their first month of the season. 3rd down coming up here for Carver. They've just really got to generate some first downs just to give their defense a bit of a break.
Little confusion. Looks like They're going to get a timeout here. Just didn't seem like they were on the same page from the huddle.
Timeout, Carver.
So Darren Miles has to burn the timeout, and with 3rd down coming up, we'll step aside.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
Back at Buford, 7-0 lead for the #1 ranked Wolves on Carver with 3rd down coming up. Let's take a look at the Carver Panthers team resume. It's brought to you by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioid. 2-time state finalists, most recently in 2021. 4 semifinal finishes, most recently 2022. 3 quarterfinal finishes, 5 region titles, and this is the 75th season of Carver Atlanta football. Program started in 1949. 3rd down, and Shealy in the pocket, gonna dump it deep, and it's gonna be broken up at the 50-yard line. Chris Garland, who's been offered by Yale, on the coverage right there, and it looks like a kicking situation.
Tight coverage there by Garland. Just nowhere to drop that ball. Running step with the receiver out on the edge. 6'1", 180 junior. Good pocket to throw from for Shealy, and you can see just the tight coverage right there all the way down the field by Garland, knocking that ball away from Roderick Hunter.
This will be the first punt by either team. Akeelan Davis kicks it away, a line drive kick that hits at the 45, then spins sideways and will be down there by Marcus Young. And that's where Buford will go on offense here early in the 2nd quarter. Scan this code right now with your phone's camera to download our free app. Get scores from every game around the state. You can also watch tonight's game on the go with the app. Get the latest team rankings, schedules, blogs, and a whole lot more.
Can this Buford Wolves offense get the run game? Right now they're losing the war, running the ball, having to do most of the work through the air. They came in the game to run the ball. Can they get these backs, Blackwell, Irvin, going on this drive?
Raiola in the pocket, looking downfield, heavy pressure, steps up in the pocket, delivers incomplete at the 34-yard line. A little bit low for his intended target.
Nice job of filling the pressure and stepping up in the pocket by Raiola. Just a little short on the pass, trying to get the ball to the big tight end down the middle of the field.
Amari Feature was the intended target right there. First incomplete pass for Raiola. 2nd down and 10 from the 48. McCoy in there at running back, and Bennett is the fullback. Yeah, Buford is old school. They still play with a fullback. And McCoy going to follow his fullback into the hole, but get only about a yard on the play. That Carver defense still very strong along the line of scrimmage. You just wonder how long they can keep it up. That was Michael Johnson in on that tackle.
Michael Johnson, 6 feet, 220 sophomore, as we talked about having a coach called him a quiet assassin working down the line right there. A lot of young pieces for this Carver Panther defense, like Johnson and Didell making plays.
So 3rd down and 10. Carver remains very tough against the run.
Spreading out, going with the motion here is Buford.
Pressure, Raiola steps up, throws off balance. That was a Patrick Mahomes type throw and incomplete. His body was, he didn't have both feet on the ground, that's for sure, and he slings it downfield incomplete. That was Favors in on the coverage, and it's 4th down.
Big time pressure. Number 6 comes into your screen, harassing Raiola. We talked about Jamontez Hines, what a player he is, energy all the time. What a time to come up and dial up some pressure and an individual effort there by him, forcing Raiola out of the pocket, not able to deliver the ball.
Kyle Carpenter going to punt. 10 punts on the year, 37+ average. And that's a boomer. And hits off the helmet of the receiver, and did it go out of bounds? 34-yard kick. And I can see how he lost that thing. I mean, he kicked it up there, and I lost sight of it. It's so dark up there, he kicked it above the lights almost.
Quentin Moss, I think it's that 22.
Out of bounds.
Terrius Favors losing the ball in the lights. Big break here as he's calling for fair catch. Hits him in the face mask right there. His Favors. And luckily for this Panther offense, ball bouncing out of bounds before Buford could recover it.
You know, Wayne, how when you're watching a baseball game and the pitcher's throwing from the light into the dark, it was almost like that. That ball was kicked into the dark and then comes down, drops into the light, and right into the kid's face mask.
Can this Carver offense get a couple of first downs? They have to be able to let this defense of theirs, who's playing great ball here in this first half, get some rest. Really need to try to get their own run game going. They've gone back to Matavius Banks at quarterback.
So they've alternated quarterbacks here on their first 4 series. And Banks, I mean, if you're going to like evaluate them based on what we've seen so far, they've moved the ball better with Banks.
He's one of those guys, he's better from the pocket, throwing the ball. Let's see what
the ball will be placed where it went out of bounds.
So they're going to give the ball where it bounced forward out of bounds and not at the spot where it was muffed, which is going to be the 25-yard line. Banks to the air and bobbled and dropped.
Nice job there by Banks, reading the soft coverage out there on Jaden Baker. Just a quick throw to the edge, taking advantage of the off coverage. Baker just not able to come down with the ball.
Carver still has not picked up a first down in this game. Approaching 15 minutes of game clock. Going to be hard to get it that way as Step runs right into the teeth of that Buford defense. And that was Edric Houston, the 5-star defensive lineman.
Houston, C.J. Sibley, 41, coming in, wrecking house right there. Excuse me, Aaron Holloway.
Yeah, Holloway
the junior,
was the first guy hit him.
Stepping in there, 6'2", 215, physical body, 12 offers on his resume as well.
And he's a backup linebacker. Penn State, Tennessee, Maryland among those 12 offers. He's already got a couple of tackles in this game. And a quarterback sack by big Edric Houston. And there is the 5-star committed to Ohio State. And his 4th quarterback sack of the season.
Ladies and gentlemen, the real deal coming into your living room. Number 0, 6'4", 275. If you go back to that fumble that Jamontez Hines picked up on that goal line stance, guess who ran him down? Edric Houston. That's what a big D-tackle he is, the kind of speed, former track guy. That's just outstanding player in the middle, the 5-star Ohio State.
I figured out why he wears 0. You have 0 chance of blocking him.
What a big-time player he is.
Davis line drive kick, and White thought about jumping up there and fielding it. And then it's going to be down at the 47, and that's where Buford's going to go back on offense. A 30-yard punt by Keelan Davis. So we take a look at the Buford Wolves resume. It's brought to you by DBH-DD. 14 state championships. They are truly the team of the 21st century. 13 of those state titles since 2001, 21 state finals, 14-7 all time, 32 region championships. They've won 9 of the last 10. They've had 24 straight seasons of double-digit wins. Program started way back in 1942.
Just nothing to describe that when you talk about the dominance they have shown throughout this state, regardless of classification. They are the epitome of football in Georgia.
First down and 10. McCoy on the carry. And again, not a whole lot of running room as they try to tenderize the middle of that Carver defensive line, and it keeps coming up big.
Nice job once again in that middle area. Evan Goodman that time, big bodies. They are playing hard. They're getting off of blocks. Not the biggest of defensive lines either. When you look across the board, Kelton McCray out. That was really their size up in there. They're about 220, 230, and they are playing hard, scrappy, gritty defense for Carver.
Yeah, you just mentioned Evan Gooden. He's about the biggest, a former linebacker that's grown into a D-line spot at 5'10", 240, and a timeout's going to be called by Buford.
Out. Buford. First time out of the half.
So Buford's going to burn the timeout, but Buford leading 7-0, #1 ranked team in 7A. Carver a 3A team. They play all comers. They will not play a team. The only team they'll play in their non-region schedule that's 3A is Peach County in their next game. And Peach County is the team that's won 3 state championships in their history. They play a very difficult schedule, and Coach Darren Miles says, well, that's the way we want it, as John Nelson was explaining in the open. They look at this as a learning and growing experience, making an investment in their future for on down the road in the playoffs when they got to go down to South Georgia and play a playoff game.
Kind of the mentality a lot of times when you have some of the HBCUs going to play the bigger schools of going up and getting in the environment, and that's what Coach Miles wanted this team to come, learn how to play in these big situations, so when they hit the playoffs, they're already mature.
And they play in arguably the toughest region in 3A, Region 5. The last 2 state championship games have been all Region 5A. 5A out of 3A. Last year it was Sandy Creek and Cedar Grove. The year before it was Cedar Grove and Carver. So second down and 7. Raiola looks far side and completes it out on the edge and down to the 30-yard line with the pass completion. And having a 2 deep with Buford is really kind of pointless because they play so many players. That was Sam Harkness with the catch.
Nice job there by Harkness, just a stop route. Look at the physicality by him to get an extra 3 or 4 yards at the end, and each and every player, they either have a star by their name. It's just so much talent and so many guys that are patiently waiting for their opportunity as well to shine.
7 first downs for Buford, and Carver still doesn't have any. McCoy shoots through there. Fine run by Dylan McCoy down close to the 20-yard line.
Nice blocking there off that right side by Green and Forrester.
That was Ethan Irvin, pardon me.
The 3-star at right tackle, good pull, kick out. Irvin, 5'10", 170, physical at the end of the run. That's what you're used to with these Buford backs. They're going to finish off the runs, run between the tackles, regardless of size.
Might remember Ethan's brother Gabe, now a star running back for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Play action, Raiola to the air, and incomplete.
Trying to get the ball out there. The K.J. Bolden one-on-one matchup with Terrius Favors. Favors tying him up just enough to throw him off the route there. That's a dangerous connection for this offense to start to find when you talk about Raiola and our man K.J. Bolden.
I mean, Wayne, how many 5-star matchups do you have? 5-star quarterback, 5-star wide receiver. Not in high school, but in college. How many times do you have a 5-star throw into a 5-star at the next level? Not often. McCoy dances in the hole. He gets stopped. Nice play. Roderick Hunter came up from his safety spot to make that play.
Nice job there by Hunter. What a great upside that he shows you. Versatile, staying out the edge, getting off the block, coming up, making the tackle out there in the open field. The Akron commit.
And you mentioned it in the open. He might play some Wildcat quarterback tonight. With the struggles they've had offensively, how far or how soon before we see Roderick line up and take some Wildcat snaps?
Definitely a guy that can get the job done with his athleticism, running the ball. But he's made his mark in this game in high school playing safety.
3rd down. Raiola going up top in the corner of the end zone and incomplete. And a flag down as well. The illegal shift is going to be the call. Wouldn't have counted had he caught it. Brian Appling, 5th season as the Wolves head coach. 55-4, became the first head coach in Georgia high school football history to lead his team to 3 straight state championships. And before you say, oh, well, it's Buford, remember they had gone through a championship drought when he came in. They had not won a state title since 2014 when he took over and led them to the state championship in 2019.
He's done a great job managing talent and personalities. And you have a lot of guys that are in your program, highly recruited.
Shift on the offense, spot, replay 3rd down.
That expands your coaching ability. You got to learn how to communicate. You got to big names like Raiola coming into your program, managing that along with the day-to-day to just a football team. You have to tip your hat to Coach App.
And he was worried about the dynamic of a new player joining the locker room at a high-profile position in the month of June. But he said Raiola immediately fit in with his team. Did all the right things, was good in the locker room, good in the weight room. Team first, unselfish player. McCoy being chased by Gooden, gets away from him, cuts back in the middle and down to the 10-yard line.
Big initial pressure in the backfield there by Evan Goodman. Just making McCoy have to keep this to the outside. McCoy looks like he's running like, finally I get a couple of touches here. Quick, look at the vision, the cutting to the backside, finishing the run. One of the better runs, and Jamontez Hines, number 6, working down the field, making plays still for the Panthers.
4th and 1, Buford going for it right here. Raiola giving them the tush push that we saw the Eagles use last night.
Nobody does it better than the Eagles. Reminds you of back with the Patriots with Tom Brady. They were good at that quarterback sneak on 3rd and short, 4th and short, and I think they picked it up here. Raiola, a big quarterback, as we talked about, 6'4", 220.
But technically, I believe it's illegal. You cannot push the quarterback from behind into the end zone in high school football, and that's not technically what they did right there. He ran into the line, and then they just all shoved into the line and just pushed the whole pile forward. They're going to measure here. They're not sure that he got it. Let's see where they've spotted this thing. They had to get to the 9, and the ball is, well, the ball's sitting on the 10. They're right close to the 10. Daryl Miller, one of the top cameramen in the entire country, is down there, got the shot for you. Daryl, a couple of weeks ago, had the #1 shot on SportsCenter Top 10. And it is by the nose of the football, a 1st down. And Darren Miles will say, come on now.
Give me a break.
Oh, wow, they're going to say they didn't get it. It looked to me like that was a 1st down. Now they've stretched out the chain, and it's short. So they stretched out that chain just a little bit more.
It had one little kick in it. They pulled out.
They pulled it out all the way.
Great defensive stand by this defense. Can't talk enough about them in these situations, and you could see
they're pulling that chain. Pull it, there you go, all the way, and it's short.
Great job.
One of the links was rusty.
Yeah.
It had to be pulled on just a little more at the end.
Caught up a little bit. Big time stop by this Carver defense. They just continue to amaze. They are playing their hearts out. They've held Buford to 7 points in the first close to 20 minutes of this game. Meantime, they're just having a hard time generating offense against this Buford defense.
Tough sledding against such a talented Houston. We talked about Perry Wright, Maggio. We haven't even mentioned a lot about Jaden Perlotti, number 5 in the talented 4-star headed to Georgia. It's tough sledding. And we talked about the issues in the offensive line for Carver. But you got to put a couple of first downs. Your defense is playing lights out right now for you. You got to get some first downs.
Shealy throws complete out on the edge. At this point, they're still trying to pick up their first down of the game. And that was Favors with the catch. Going to bring up 3rd down. When you consider on their opening possession, they went for it on 4th and 1 at their own 29 and failed to score. And yet Buford only has 7 points in this game, and that was after a 90-yard drive. This Carver defense has been amazing, but can the offense do something here on this 3rd down? That's going to be close to the first down. Amari Russell on the carry. He's the bigger of their backs. And so they got Russell in there, who's 5'9", 185. Brian Brown is their real big back at 240. And that's going to be their first down of the game.
And a big first down when you look at them as far as trying to give the defense a rest, try to create some space for your punter. Nice physical run there by Russell, just slamming it in there and driving those legs.
Shealy sprints to the outside, and he's going to be driven out of bounds. Let's see if there's going to be a flag as they go into the boards. Well, I'm really surprised we didn't see a flag there.
Nazir McCoy, number 24 there. The young sophomore playing to the whistle. Adam Shealy, read option, trying to get to the edge. Nice job coming out of the secondary is Nazir McCoy.
Yeah, he's still got his hands on him out of bounds like that. So I'm really surprised they didn't drop a flag on that.
Very surprised.
That should have been a flag. I mean, he hit him in the field of play, but when they got to the big white line, that's when you got to let the guy go. And I think Darren Miles is letting the officials hear about it too. And a timeout has been called by Carver. We'll step aside with 3.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Today's conservation-minded consumer cares about where their energy comes from. Your local EMC cares too. Georgia's electric membership cooperatives offer renewable options for our members. In fact, our solar portfolio will produce enough clean energy to power more than 180,000 households, striving to move the needle toward progress and position communities for the future. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
All right, what do you think, Jasper?
Honestly, I think that polyester shirt's affecting your game.
What?
I think cotton would have been a better choice.
Cotton?
Yeah, it's come a long way, you know. Nowadays, cotton breathes and makes moisture great. Plus, buying cotton means supporting Georgia farmers. I think that's wonderful.
Okay, sure, but what do you think about the putt?
Oh, guess really hadn't thought about it.
Welcome back to Tom Ryden Stadium. Carver, Atlanta versus Buford. Wolves on top by 1 score, 7-0. Coming up in just a few minutes on the Regions Halftime Show, we will have the Make That Kid an Offer segment where we highlight some of the best players across the state that are underlooked when it comes to recruiting. We'll also have the You Save It Pharmacy Georgia Player Spotlight, which features one of the top safeties in the entire country. You don't want to miss that. And, of course, the homecoming festivities, guys. It's all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Hannah. They got back to action a little bit early there. Let's see, I think they're going to make this play go over again. Yep, they got the play started before they got the signal to go. So we'll come back and do it again. This is the 5th play of the drive coming up for Carver. It's their longest drive of the game so far.
Trying to spread them out here, open up the middle of the field for Adam Sheely.
Play clock is down to 4. Sheely scrambling, throws. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think that was John Frazier, the linebacker, number 47, who got a piece of it.
Nice job by Frazier coming in late, knocking that ball away. Just nowhere to go with the ball for Sheely here initially. He's waiting, feels uncomfortable, feels the pressure. Frazier getting up with 2 hands there, knocking that ball away. Number 47.
3rd down and 10. Approaching 3 minutes to play. 151 yards for Buford, only 22 so far for Carver, and just 1 first down. They need 9 on this play to get another. Heavy rush. Sheely throws incomplete. It's going to be 4th down.
Trying to find a little screen in the middle there, maybe to Latavius Step. Just too much pressure in his face to try to deliver that ball. Coming up the middle there, Montrez Walker, the 4-star junior. Big, physical, headed to Michigan at the moment. What a prospect he is when you look at his size and his speed.
Yeah, committed to Michigan before his junior year, way back in February, committed to the Wolverines. Keelan Davis on to punt again. And line drive kick. White fumbled the ball, then scooped it up. There's a flag out as he makes it to the 44. We'll check the penalty call. 30-yard kick by Davis and 6-yard return by White.
Dangerous. Trying to return that. A lot of pressure on him right there. Not a clear way to get to the ball. Took a gamble.
Let's see, do we have a blindside block out there? That's probably going to be the call. Yep, the official's looking right at it. So it's going against Buford. I saw Marcus Young for Carver, 0. He was the defender on the play who took the hit.
Personal foul, blindside block on the receiving team during the return. 15-yard penalty, spot of the foul, first down.
So that's going to back Buford up to their 34-yard line with 3:11 to play in the quarter. And the Wolves have 2 timeouts remaining. Carver's used up all theirs here in the first half.
Plenty of time to mount a drive. We've seen Dylan Raiola in this offense. As you can see, the number 6 for 9, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. They've worked this ball through the air for most of their success today. They have the kind of speed that can still take the top off the defense. So plenty of time to get down the field and score.
Pitch goes to Blackwell. Blackwell follows his blocks, and Dowdell makes the tackle on Blackwell at the 42-yard line. Picked up about 8 on the play.
Nice job there by Dowdell. Love the physicality. What a strong run there, though, by the back. Getting out in the open space, a little pitch. Finally getting some running room for that offense.
Raiola's only averaging about 154 yards passing per game so far. He's now thrown 7 touchdowns with no interceptions, although he did throw a pick in this game that was erased by a penalty. Heavy rush, gets it out of there, and it's caught at the 44-yard line. Devin Williams with his second big catch. That was Favors on the coverage, but a 13-yard pickup and a first down.
Nice route there by Williams to come back and get this ball here. A little rollout, a little late delivering the ball. Ball could have been there a little earlier by Raiola. Nice job of setting his feet there as Williams for that completion.
Williams came into the game, tops on the team, averaging over 24 yards per catch. 2 more catches for him here in the first half. 20-25 cornerback that has 31 offers, 2 catches for 43 yards for him here in the first 2 quarters. McCoy in there at running back next to Raiola. Play action. Ball goes outside on the edge and caught but dropped immediately by Kemp. That was Ty White with the catch, his first of the game.
Nice
He's
job.
a 4-star safety.
Nice job there by Kemp. He covering a guy like Ty White out in the open space. What a player he is and has been for Buford, headed to UNC, the 4-star. Ty White, they have a lot of weapons. You can just imagine this passing game evolving more and more as this year goes. And that was the thing. If they can get the run game and start matching what they can do, it'll open up down the field on the play action.
Not playing with a lot of urgency here as we're down to 1 minute to play in the half. And a timeout called by Buford. They burned a lot of time there between plays, and now we're down to 58 seconds.
Buford. Second timeout of the half.
So 58 seconds left in the half, and a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Let's check in with Nelly.
Multi-screen experience time, and you thought this game was going quickly? Our multi-screen experience, the one over at gpb.org/sports, they are already at the break, and it has been all Dutchtown. Dutchtown leading Warner Robins by the score of 20-7. 2 teams, Matt, as you said, with rough starts. Dutchtown and their defense being very, very stingy with the quarterback, Anderson, down there at Warner Robins. So, once again, reminder, multi-screen experience. And what you can do is make sure that it's brought to us by our friends at Breda Pest Management. Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of high school football. How about that, man?
Well, Nelly, you mentioned that Dutchtown was off to a 1-3 start, but 2 of their 3 losses were 1-point losses, 1 to Cedar Grove, 1 to Jonesboro, and then last week they got defeated by 4A unbeaten Spalding, that's now number 6 in our GPB rankings. So they played a difficult schedule. They've had some tough losses. That's still a team with a lot of upside and a big lead on Warner Robins. 2nd down and 6 with the ball at the 40. Raiola delivers downfield for Bolden, and Favors going to draw a DPI.
Going for the home run is Raiola, a little play action fake. Favors just never really found the ball, face guarding Bolden. Nice protection. You can see the arm strength.
Defensive pass interference. 15-yard penalty, previous spot. Results in a first down.
Yeah, Favors never played the ball.
Just never saw the ball. Trying to just get in the way, but ran into the chest of Bolden there. Going for the big chunk play there, Raiola. It shows you that arm strength right there, just letting it sail to the back of the end zone.
So 1st and 10 now, ball at the 25-yard line. They are now in field goal range for Mario Ventura, who's 3 for 5 on the season with a long of 40. Setting up a screen. Blackwell inside the 20, gets knocked sideways. As Marcus Young, the linebacker. Now it's going to be 2nd down and 10. Clock continues to run. Remember, they only have 1 timeout now.
Little confusion, taking a lot of time here to get this second play off. Still looking back at Raiola, the receivers out on the right.
20 seconds. Raiola sprints outside. Now he's going to run. He's going to toss the ball out on the edge and down to the 10-yard line. That'll stop the clock to move the chains. What a fancy play right there by Raiola with 9 seconds left to toss the ball to Sterling Carter.
Nice job reading. Didn't see it feel like it.
Buford, third and final timeout of the half.
Felt the pressure coming off the right by Hines, getting out in the open space. What a heady play, keeping his head up. You can see just didn't feel comfortable down the field, but he still has his eyes down. A little flip of the wrist there.
That's a front yard. That's a front yard football play, right?
Out of the Patrick Mahomes playbook, right there.
No doubt. We've seen a number of his movements here tonight look very much like the Kansas City Chiefs star. Now they have no timeouts remaining. They have the ball at the 10-yard line.
This
so
has to go
you got to throw to the end
zone. Yeah, this
or
has to go
you're
into
going to
the
run
end
out of
zone.
time.
It has to go into the end zone or throw it away, give yourself a chance to kick the 3.
So depending upon how quickly they run the play here, they might be able to get in 2 more plays, the field goal attempt being one of them. 6th play of the drive coming up.
Can't take a sack here if you're Dylan Raiola. Got to keep your eyes on Jamontez Hines coming off the corner, number 6.
Raiola backpedaling, tossing it up, and White comes down with it. They're going to rule him incomplete out of the back of the end zone with 2 seconds to play in the half. And look at the sportsmanship right there. Roderick Hunter helping him get his pads back inside his jersey. Sees off the back line. He went out of bounds. He made the catch inbounds, but he had already stepped out of bounds. You saw the official throw his hat down to indicate he had gone out of bounds and then come back in, which you cannot do.
Trying to get an explanation. Felt like he had walked the tightrope, but that foot you could see clearly.
Receiver on the offense.
You could clearly see that foot go out of bounds right there on White. Big pressure. We talked about Jamontez Hines just not letting Raiola set up to even try to deliver the ball. But arm strength he showed you once again to even get that off. And now here set up for the field goal attempt.
32-yard attempt for Ventura will come from the right hash. Harkness is the holder. Whitkey is the snapper. Got a good look at it from the back of the end zone. Back end zone camera. Kick is on its way, and the kick is going to be good. Ventura with his 4th field goal of the season comes with zeros on the clock and a 10-0 lead for number 1 ranked Buford here as we head to halftime. A 7-play, 56-yard drive as the Wolves are able to get points out of it. And you see Jordan Allen there with his arm in a sling. That's a big loss for them, and hopefully it will not be for long for this Wolves team.
Big time effort by Carver. Defensively, a couple of 4th and 1-yard stands, playing tough, getting pressure, giving their team a chance. What can they do offensively in this second half would be the big question for them. Not able to mount really any kind of offensive ability through the air or on the ground in that first half.
Let's send it down to Nelly.
Thank you very much, Matt. Here with Coach App. What are the conversations going to be like with the coaching staff with this bunch only up a handful of points here at the half?
Just get the team locked in, man. I mean, I know there's a lot going on with homecoming and everything, but they're letting all the distractions get in the way right now. I mean, this bottom line, we're not very locked in as a team.
And then you look at things, and then there's imagination going on from Dylan. You mentioned not being locked in, and it seems that there's almost that extra little bit of having to create out there to get moving down on the field.
A little bit, man. It's a whole school football. Like, knock people off the ball, run the ball down their throat, stop the run on defense, go and be physical. We've done a pretty good job of doing that. I just want us to be a little more physical in the second half and control the clock and control the game.
Any early word on Jordan?
No, he's probably done for the night, but I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow. The early word is he's just done for the night.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it, man.
That's Coach App, and that's the early word here at Tom Wright and Buford. Top 5 nationally, only up 10-0 at the break. Regions halftime show coming up just around the corner with Hannah. We'll take the tour. Coming back right here on the great GPB.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Georgia's EMCs. So much more than electricity.
As morning light signals the start of business, Georgia's electric membership cooperatives are right there with you. Georgia's EMCs are a partner in economic development, serving commercial accounts big and small that drive Georgia's economy. From leading industries we rely on to local shops we treasure, we support operations on the ground, care around the clock, and growth through the seasons, lighting up good business. So business is good. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
I've been checking food labels for years. I like to buy local, and I like to buy healthy for my family. So I started checking the labels on our clothes, too. Did you know synthetic fibers like polyester are pretty much made of oil? No thanks. I look for cotton now, which grows right here in Georgia, a major source of the world's cotton. Cotton is natural, renewable, sustainable, and buying cotton supports Georgia farmers. Good enough for me and my family.
Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being.
Alcohol abuse claims the lives of too many of our friends and family here in Georgia. Melanie McCoy, Cigna Healthcare Vice President for Georgia, is here with tips on how to get help for yourself and your loved ones. Melanie, why is it important to talk about alcohol abuse here in Georgia? This is such an important topic.
Yes, it is. And more than half of the Georgians who have sought treatment for addictive behaviors say it is dominantly related to alcohol use. And also the Georgia Highway Patrol have reported that 1 in 5 traffic fatalities are related to drunk driving.
Wow. How does alcohol affect your physical and emotional health?
From a physical perspective, the heavy alcohol use is related to severe or permanent damage to the brain and the liver, and can also have effects on your pancreas, increase your risk for diabetes, heart disease, and stroke.
What about
and from an emotional perspective, there's also consequences where it affects relationships and with your family, and can cause issues with your job.
What about teenagers? What are the risks there?
The risk in teenagers is pretty significant. The adolescent brain is still developing very rapidly, and when they use alcohol, it has the impacts are more severe. They have more severe repercussions from that.
And most importantly, how can we get help for myself or our loved ones?
So most employers offer an employee assistance program for people to take advantage of. Most health plans offer care for counseling and substance abuse. And then lastly, there are support groups such as Alcoholics Anonymous and Alateen.
Melanie, I feel like so many of us know someone who struggles with alcohol abuse, so thank you for being here, sharing this important information. And if you would like to learn more, please go to Cigna.com. Hey everyone, welcome into the Regions Halftime Show. Get back in the game with Regions Bank. I'm Anna Gooden. We're live from Tom Wright Stadium for Carver Atlanta versus Buford. Wolves on top, 10-0. Buford has 6 players committed to playing for Power 5 colleges next season, with many, many more to go before the year is over. But what about the kids that are overlooked when it comes to recruiting? Here are this week's nominees for Make That Kid an Offer. This week, we start with Jackson County senior wide receiver and cornerback Elijah Ling. He's averaging over 24 yards per catch on offense this season and already has 20 tackles, 1 interception, and 4 pass breakups on defense. He also shines on special teams. What can't this kid do? His nickname is White Lightning because he's so fast. He's still looking for his first D1 offer, so y'all know what to do. Next up is Warner Robins senior offensive lineman Nick Reeves. He can play anywhere on the line if needed and was named second team All-Region. He also played in the Georgia Elite Classic game. He's a captain on the wrestling team and a scholar athlete with a 3.9 GPA. Someone make him an offer. Last up is Burke County senior middle linebacker and tight end Brandon Lively. He's a 4-year starter and captain and had 113 tackles his junior season. He has a couple offers, but definitely deserves more. Buford head coach Brian Appling also wanted me to put junior defensive back Chris Garland on that list. He can play corner or safety. He has an offer from Yale, but predicts many more. Follow us on social media at GPB Sports to see how you can get your name on the list next week. All right, let's do our score update brought to us by Georgia's EMCs. Georgia's EMCs, it's so much more than electricity. Here's our top scores from around the state. Mill Creek up over Cedar Grove 21-0 right now. Wow, that is a big score. Lowndes leading East Coweta 17-7. Marist blanking Blessed Trinity in the first 10-0, and Rockmart is over Irwin County 14-8 in the second. Second page of scores we go. Tryon leading Model 21-6 at the half. Thomas County Central leading Berks County Big 23-0 in the second. Manchester up over Marion County by a score 7-0 in the first. And our web game, Dutchtown leading Warner Robins 20-7 at the half. You can watch that one on the GPB Sports app or streaming live on gpb.org/sports. All right, we have to take a quick break, guys, but coming up next, we have the You Save It Pharmacy Georgia Player Spotlight. You're not going to want to miss it.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
Time to catch up once again with our friends at the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Megan Gibson alongside. Topic this time around is Child Passenger Safety Week. When is it and why is it so important?
Child Passenger Safety Week this year is September 17th through the 23rd, and it is when all of Georgia's child passenger safety technicians mobilize to engage our caregivers in the community to answer any questions they have about car seats, help them with any installations that they need. We just make ourselves available to do anything and everything that is required to make sure that their children are riding safely.
So then how do we know that the seat that we have picked up is the right seat for your child?
That is a wonderful question, and as technicians, we have a really great answer for that. The best seat for your kid is the one that fits your kid, fits your car, and you can use correctly each and every time.
So then what resources can parents use to make sure that they're making these right choices to get the right seats in their cars?
Child passenger safety technicians are everywhere, so come out and see a technician. We go over everything from top to bottom and just try to work one-on-one with what they have. GAHighwaysafety.org, which is the Georgia Governor's Office of Highway Safety, is a wonderful official landing point for all Child Passenger Safety Week activities. And you can also find a cache of other resources to help get the message out to caregivers.
It's always great to catch up with our friends here at the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, especially, Megan, when it comes to one of the most important weeks of the year.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't eat another bite.
So why are you eyeballing my plate?
You caught me. Oh, I forgot, I got you something.
Babe, you didn't have to get me anything.
I didn't have to, but I wanted to.
Oh my gosh, it's perfect! How did you know?
Seat belts for every occasion.
I cannot wait to tell everyone that we are engaged.
Wait, what?
Welcome back to the halftime show. It's homecoming here at Tom Ryden Stadium, but over for Northside. They are hosting North Cobb tonight, and they have an incredible athlete. It's time for our You Save It Pharmacy Georgia Player Spotlight, and that is Northside senior Ricardo Jones. He's the number 14 safety in the entire country, and he also won the Region Offensive Player of the Year last year. He has many more accolades to come. Here's his story.
He's the quarterback of the defense. He's cerebral in a sense that he knows what's going on. He understands the game of football.
Like, it really just come with watching film. Like, I probably watch so much film. That's why I think my best stat in my game, reading the quarterback, finding the ball.
He can communicate it to the players on the field, whereas a lot of schools, a coach would have to do that.
You see it happen in the game, and it almost seems like it's too good to be true, so they run it, you catch a pick. You just read it like a book.
Every single day I feel the pressure.
What an incredible young man and athlete who is also playing tonight. All right, we have to take one more quick break, but we are talking all things homecoming coming up next. Stick with us.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Cigna Healthcare. Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Georgia's EMCs. So much more than electricity. Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids.
Jackson EMC and 33 other participating Georgia Electric membership cooperatives congratulate Decula High School on winning the GHSA Cooperative Spirit Sportsmanship Award. This award honors schools that exhibit exemplary sportsmanship during competitive events. Only one school in each region, in each classification, is chosen to receive this annual award. The GHSA takes into consideration all aspects of sportsmanship, making the award a tribute to the entire community.
Jackson EMC is proud to present the Cooperative Spirit Sportsmanship Award to Decula High School in Gwinnett County. Decula student athletes, coaches, and fans have demonstrated integrity, respect, and honesty in competition, in the classroom, and in the community. At Jackson EMC, we love supporting the communities where we live and work.
Introduced in 2006, this award reinforces the GHSA's philosophy that everyone associated with high school activities, from athletes to spectators, should adhere to the fundamental values it represents.
We want to win championships, we want to celebrate the success on the field, but we know that if you do that at the expense of off the field, that it's not worth it. And we want our athletes to leave here better people.
First and foremost, competitors, but more than anything, you know, we're people. You know, and we want to do all we can to raise each other up, and that's kind of how we do it.
Georgia's EMCs and the 34 participating Georgia Electric membership cooperatives are proud to sponsor the Cooperative Spirit Sportsmanship Award. Congratulations to the Decula High School community.
Welcome back to the Regions Halftime Show. The homecoming queen was just crowned here at Tom Ryden Stadium. I have Buford Assistant Principal Justin Johnson. Tell me about all the awesome homecoming festivities that are happening here today.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic week. From theme days at our high school and across our schools to our annual tour of pep rallies that we got to go on and take our senior athletes and cheerleaders and band to the different schools the past couple of days, and then culminating in our annual homecoming parade this afternoon. So, I mean, you can look at the crowd, just incredible community support.
This is time to brag on the rest of your school. We know your football program is epic. Tell me about what else is going on around Buford.
Sure. Well, we'll start, we pride ourselves on excellence in athletics, arts, and academics. And so athletically, I can't say enough about actually our female sports have been pretty dominant over the past year. We won state championships in gymnastics, softball, volleyball, and sideline cheer. Football is gets its recognition, but all of our other sports are just excelling far beyond what we ever expected. Academically, we were just named one of U.S. World News Report's one of the top high schools in the nation, so we're excited about that. We had over 200 AP scholars this past year, which is a tribute to our board for paying for every AP test that our students take, and every student that's in an AP class will take that test. And so academically we're excelling, and then artistically, I mean, we have 190 plus in our band and our color guard, and then when you look at the success of our choral programs and our theater programs, it's a great place to be.
Justin, thank you so much for coming on and bragging about your school. Again, congratulations on all this success. Okay, we're going to tag out. John, come on over for the score update. Tell us, what are the biggest happenings around the state right now?
Well, you went through a couple of them on the scoreboard that we had. Give you another couple. Benedictine, we had Danny Britt on the Football Fridays in Georgia podcast this past week with their big win over Ware County. They're in a bit of a struggle tonight with Hebron Christian, 14-10 last time we checked on that one. That one's at the break. Also on the board, Perry beating Peach County 21-7. We were able to see Perry out of the blocks with the game against Houston County. That a game that I think it just wrapped from week number one. But Perry, once again, putting up a big number. Peach County struggling out of the blocks this year. A lot of other scores going on around the state. Lanier County MCA we're keeping an eye on. Plus everything on the scoreboard. We'll have updates coming up in the second half.
All right. That was the Hot Minute with John.
The Hot Minute with John.
Right,
so I'm going to go catch up with Darren Miles over there someplace. Bye.
All right, bye, John. Okay, guys, don't forget to vote for our QR code question of the day, and that is, who's going to win this game? Carver, Atlanta, or Buford? Right now, Wolves on top, 10-0. We'll see what happens in the second. I want to give a quick plug. I interviewed quarterback Dylan Raiola earlier this week. My interview with him will be out Sunday, so follow us on follow us on social media at GPB Sports for that. All right, that is it for the Regions Halftime Show. Thank you so much for joining us. What a fun one with the homecoming festivities. We will be back with much more with Matt, Wayne, and John right after this.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
While we've got a quick break in the action, did you know that the same area of just one football field can contain up to 95 termite colonies? That's why you need Breda Pest Management to defend your home. Breda, the official pest control of high school football.
Riding down the road and you're doing just fine when a car in front of you crosses over the line. They're in your space, not looking at your face. Distracted drivers all over the place. Say, we will buckle up. Sing it. Say, we will buckle up.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to be safe on every trip. Buckle up, Georgia. Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
Welcome back to Tom Ryden, getting ready for the second half. 10-0 is the margin. Buford leading Carver, Atlanta, here with Coach Miles. If I had told you it was going to be 10-0 at the break, what would you have told me?
I'm not certain. I'm not going to say I'm not surprised. I know my players are going to come out here and play hard. I know the staff is going to do a good job of getting them prepared. But I'm not certain what I would have told you. I would be lying to you, to be honest with you. If I say, I would be shocked, because I would be telling you I thought it would have been 40-0. Right? I expected us to do what we're doing right now. We came to play. We took the game for a reason. We know it's a formidable opponent. But at the same token, we're pretty good ourselves. We just got to tighten up the mistakes that we're making, and particularly up front. I told you earlier that we're young and inexperienced, but our guys are fighting. We're going to continue to fight, and hopefully, we can last these next 24 minutes.
And at the same time, I know you want to get your offense on track because of that tall timber that you're having to fight against Buford.
That's right. It is, of course. Extremely talented on defense. They're well coached on defense as well. I got to give them credit as well. So, we getting some great work from Buford defensive line, without a doubt. And our offensive linemen are growing up fast.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
That's Coach Miles from Carver. He's down 10 here at Tom Wright. Let's send it upstairs because we have, I believe, Matt and Wayne, we refer to them as first half highlights.
Yes, indeed. We do have first half highlights, and just love the comments from Darren Miles right there. You knew that he felt like his team. He's not surprised it's a 10-0 game right now.
He knew his team was going to come in and play inspired football. They were going to fight tonight right here. Fumble recovery by Jamontez Hines, the big D tackle. Edric Houston running him down here to prevent the touchdown at the end, but big play for the Panthers on defense on that 4th and 1.
Unfortunately, Carver didn't get any points out of that. Buford comes back, caps a 90-yard drive on the touchdown pass from Raiola to K.J. Bolden. That's the only touchdown we've had so far in the game. Then Raiola here improvising a la Patrick Mahomes. Got him down to the 9-yard line, and that led to the 32-yard field goal by Ventura on the final play of the half. And that's all the scoring, a 10-0 game as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Halftime stats, what jumps out at you?
Really just the rushing yards. Carver has been able to limit Buford to only 68 yards rushing in this game. For Carver and their offense, what sticks out is first downs. Only one first down, only one big run by Banks on a scramble where he was trying to pick up a 4th and long. But Carver and their defense have been playing stellar and fighting this Buford Wolves team.
Statistically, the big guy in the game so far, Raiola, not surprising, 10 of 14 for 119 yards and the 1 touchdown pass we showed you. K.J. Bolden, Jordan Allen, their top receiver, 3 for 37, but injured his shoulder. He is out for the rest of the game. And you mentioned the rushing, 21 yards rushing from McCoy. He's the top rusher for Buford through 2 quarters.
Yeah, when you look at it, they have just not been able to mount anything running the ball, either team. And you really feel like Buford, to get on track to where they want to be, they're going to have to find a run game, get this offensive line, as Coach App talked about at half, start playing physical on that line of scrimmage and start trying to push people around.
Well, the second quarter, second half kickoff is brought to you by Buckle Up Georgia. Buckle Up Georgia, seat belts save lives. So Buford's going to get the ball first here to start this second half. And this will be the first kickoff for Carver in this game. Marcus Young, who is the linebacker and tight end, set to kick it off. Underway, third quarter at Tom Ryden Stadium. Going to be taken at the 15-yard line. And a big return out across the 40 to the sideline. Foot race, and that's going to be a Buford touchdown. 85 yards on the return by Jeremiah Colbert, but there is a flag down on the play. So let's check the penalty call here. Watch the left side of your screen.
Right there, just a little nick in the back.
Well,
they looks like they're going to let it go. Pick up the flag. They're on for the PAT attempt. Is Buford. big-time return for the special teams.
So apparently they've picked up the flag, and Ventura on for the PAT, and he puts it through. Jeremiah Colbert with an 85-yard kick return touchdown, and just like that, Buford has a 17-0 lead.
Clean in the middle of the field here. It's just all about Colbert and his speed. As you can see, the cutting ability, one man really to beat out in the open field, and then he just turns it into a foot race. Terrian Kemp pursuing for the Panthers, just not able to run down Mr. Colbert right there in that situation. And I'm going to give that to Coach App. Something tells me in that locker room, he went in there with a different voice and challenged his team to start playing up to their potential.
Well, Jeremiah Colbert is a young man that does not get on the field often, except on special teams. A 5'10", 185 senior wide receiver / cornerback with 10 offers, including Georgia State, Middle Tennessee, and Ole Miss. And he just gave him some more video to look at with an 85-yard kick return touchdown.
And after watching that, he has to have at least the third leg on the 4x1. What speed he displayed right there, Mr. Colbert.
So just 11 seconds off the clock to get another touchdown on the board for Buford, and the kick will go into the end zone. So Carver's first possession of the third quarter is going to start at the 20-yard line.
What a way to bring energy into this building. The Buford fans, they're used to a certain type of football. In that first half, real lethargic on both sides of the ball. The defense really holding their own. Now, can this Carver offense provide any explosion down the field? Adam Shealy may have to start taking some of these plays and improvising with his feet, and even taking off and running to provide some offense for Carver.
Only 2 of 6 passing for 12 yards in the first half, and Stepp gets the handoff, runs right into big Bryce Perry Wright.
Perry Wright, so big and physical in the middle. Just you think it's a misprint when you look at him physically, and then it says sophomore. It's just it's 255, 260 pounds, just physical, a freak athlete.
Pass thrown complete to Baker, and Baker gets run down from behind, and then once again Bryce Perry Wright making the play out on the edge.
Nice job of recovering, trailing the play, a little quick, get the ball out. Nice job of Baker getting out of the tackle there, trying to get some positive yards. And then Perry Wright, the 4-star. What a bright future, and I'm quite sure that recruiting, I'm expecting another star, actually, Matt, here by that young man.
His cousin is Grady Jarrett of the Atlanta Falcons. Shealy throwing downfield and incomplete, trying to get the ball to Roderick Hunter, who ends up under the Panthers bench. Hopefully he's okay.
Tight coverage out there. Chris Garland running step for step with the receiver. Just nowhere to go with that ball there for Shealy, getting out of the pocket, trying to get it to Hunter, who's an exceptional athlete. This secondary, as we talked about with Bolden and White, Kobe Blackwell, Devin Williams, what an asset, especially along with that rush up front with Wright in Houston and Prolati.
Keelan Davis set to punt. He stands at his 13. Buford's blocked at least one kick in every one of their games so far. Line drive kick that barely clears the line of scrimmage and is going to take a big roll for Carver inside the 40-yard line and dead at the 36. Ends up being a 40-yard kick. What it lacked in artistry, it made up for in distance.
Now can this Buford offense, as we talked about, can they get up and establish the run? This offensive line, they have talent up there with Green and Forrester, McCammon at the center. Mabinga is still in there at left tackle. He had to step in for DeMarco, who left early with the injury, but He has the size. He's a sophomore, but 6'5", 240. The physicality is big in the second half for this Buford offense.
Yeah, Braden Jacobs, their big 4-star left tackle, who's just a junior, out, did not even dress for the game tonight. And then DeMarco got hurt on the opening series, and Mabinga has gone ever since. Handoff goes to McCoy. Dylan McCoy starting to run with a little bit more authority as he makes it to the 43. 7-yard pickup on the play for Dylan McCoy.
Nice pull, kick out block there by Preston Clark. And you can see McCoy running behind his pads, shoulder square, picking up 7 yards on first down.
2nd down and 3, and you're right. In fact, I tweeted that at halftime. The locker room for Buford was going to be interesting. If you could be a fly on the wall. And I think you saw the immediate impact of what might have been said there at halftime on that 85-yard kick return to start the half. McCoy bounces off some guys this time and picks up the first down. So those are 2 of the best runs we've seen from Buford all night.
2 runs back-to-back to pick up a first down. That's the Buford we know. Nice job there, McCoy finishing that run, getting out of the tackle of Evan Goodman to pick up the first down.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 48-yard line. McCoy 8 carries, 33 yards, and again they're playing without Justin Baker, their 4-star and top rusher tonight. Did not play because of an injury or what was called a medical issue. And that's Irvin, Ethan Irvin. Back to back to back, the 3 best runs we've seen all night from this Buford offense.
Nice kick out block there by Devin Forrester, the right tackle, the 3-star offered by Georgia Tech. 72 coming in, getting in front, leading the way. Ethan Irvin running behind the pass. Look at 72 with the kick out block. Get in that lane. If you're Irvin, picking up the big yards.
17-yard pickup for Irvin. He stays in the game at running back. And I think Coach Appling clued you into what the thought process would be in the second half when he talked to Nelly going to the locker room and said, look, it's not hard. It's football, smash mouth football. Just run the ball. Run the ball and stop the run. That's what you got to do. And so it looks like that's what they're determined to do here in this 3rd quarter as Irvin gets another carry.
You could tell at that halftime with Nelly, one of those speeches, my time at Auburn, Coach Dye would come in and just tell you, we're not throwing the ball in the second half, so I don't know what you're going to do. We're just going to run the ball, and right now they're running the ball, and I expect that might be the tempo, especially on this drive. Raiola just handing the ball off.
Play action, Raiola looking to the far side, now going towards the end zone, and it's broken up inside the 5-yard line, and a flag comes out late.
24, Joshua Stone out there on the coverage of Ty White.
Pass interference on the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, first down.
Just a man-to-man route here. Good protection off the play action fake, laying it out there is Raiola, and as you can see, just never turned and at any point to peek at the ball. And just what they used to call face guarding right there, just running into the chest, never looked for the ball there was Stone.
Got to guard the receiver, but also have to play the ball. And you got to turn around and seek the ball, and he didn't. So 1st and 10 for Buford, ball at the 17-yard line.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
KJ Bolden out wide as a receiver, just jumping off the ball. Just can't have that from such a talented player, and really never can have that from your receivers. You're not in the box. You don't hear the snap count. You just look in, and until the ball moves, you stand there. Just gifting Carver and this defense a negative 5 yards.
So ball back at the 22. Line to gain is the 7. 8 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Buford's already put a touchdown on the board here in the second half. Ball goes out on the edge inside the 20-yard line, inside the 10, and down to the 5 as Buford's starting to move the ball on offense. Durante Broughton making the catch.
Nice job there by Broughton, just getting out into the flat there from that fullback position. Nice delivery, leading him right there is Raiola.
Yeah, most teams don't even have a fullback. That's the third fullback we've seen them use tonight. They're just so deep and loaded. First and goal for Buford with the ball at the 5-yard line. Handoff McCoy right into the defense, gets stopped right there. That was Quentin Moss, number 22, leading the charge.
Nice job by Moss stepping up in there, making that play, getting some penetration. Young sophomore, 22, not buying the fake, staking in there, getting into the wheels, able to bring McCoy down behind the line of scrimmage. Good tackling. Look at the rallying to the ball there. Jaden Dowdell in there as well.
Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
Really impressed by the Panthers defense and just really how aggressive they are at the line of scrimmage. Raiola rolling, looking, scanning the end zone, throwing, touchdown. Ball goes to Ty White. 5-yard touchdown pass. Second touchdown pass of the night for Raiola.
Getting the run going in this drive now creates some play action fake here, a little bootleg. Sneaking underneath right there is Ty White, buying time out in the open field. Just pitch and catch from Raiola to White for the touchdown. Nice drive there, well executed. Established a run, and then everything comes off of that.
(23-0) as the Wolves have scored 13 points in less than half a quarter after scoring only 10 in the first half. Make it 14. Strong drive by Buford. Raiola just scanning the field, looking for the open guy, and finally finds him in Ty White.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Hi, I'm Tommy Sharp with You Save It Pharmacy, and I'm proud to present to you this week's You Save It Pharmacy Student Athlete of the Week.
I don't think he realized how good he really is.
I do everything that I can to be myself.
I mean, I think he is the type of person where he cares a lot about his teammates.
Well, I do a lot in the classroom to make sure that I'm keeping my grades maintained.
And the type of person that he is, I mean, he checked all the boxes.
This is Cam Davis, class 2024, Doherty High School.
I hope you've enjoyed watching You Save It Pharmacy Student Athlete of the Week. If you'd like to watch our full interview, please follow this link.
Third quarter, 6:46 to play in the period. Buford now out to a 24-0 lead on Carver. Matt Stewart and Wayne Ganning. Let's watch that play again, that touchdown pass by Raiola. I just thought it was just a veteran move here. Watch how he just lets the play unfold and develop. He's looking at all of his options there, Wayne.
Shoulders square. He sees Houston in the back of the end zone, buying time. He sees White out on the edge, leads the receiver over the defensive end. Just a great job off the play action of his ability to get outside of the pocket and take his reads and make the touchdown.
Your Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign scoring drive. 7 plays, 64 yards. As Buford's now opened up a 24-0 lead. 14 first downs to Carver's 1. Ball comes down at the 6-yard line. Kemp on the return up to the 23 and no more, and that's where Carver goes on offense. And that's going to be the big challenge for Carver this season. Obviously, they got a defense to take them deep into the playoffs. The offense has to catch up.
And when you talk to Coach Miles, he mentioned maybe someone like a Roderick Hunter, maybe having to go to a better athlete, a bigger athlete, and let him run the ball some. We've seen with Montavious Banks, though, the ability to throw the ball, especially out on the edge, quick reads. So right now, they're trying to figure out, the offensive line has played a little better tonight against such a talented defensive front. They're holding their own here and there, but what they can do at the quarterback position will be key.
Bryant Brown gets his first carry of the game. He's the big 240-pound back who also doubles on the defensive line. Lost some yardage on that play.
Just coming off the edge right there, C.J. Sibley not even caring about whether Banks pulls the ball, just shooting off the edge to make that play.
Montavious Banks, they've rotated the quarterback pretty much every series. So Montavious Banks, the junior, getting a chance to run the show right now. Heavy rush, and Houston's got another quarterback sack way back at the 10-yard line. Second quarterback sack of the night for Houston.
Just a young man that needs to be double teamed, just hard right there to ask Jacob Thomas, the left tackle, the underneath move with the quick hand, slapping the hands off of him. Just so much force, big, physical, fast. This young man right here is definitely, each and every time I've seen him, lived up to billing.
He committed on August 22nd, so it's been less than a month since he made his announcement, choosing Ohio State over 39 other offers, including Georgia, USC, Alabama, and Clemson. Third down. Ball goes back into the end zone. Banks throws it out of the end zone, up for grabs, and it's incomplete at the 21-yard line. And they were very fortunate there not to have an interception or a safety or something more disastrous than an incompletion.
Just ball over his head. We've seen that a couple of times for Carver here. Heady play of getting the ball right there. You just like him to throw the ball out of bounds. Got it across the line of scrimmage, just a little arm strength, but he was under duress. And it's a break for the offense not to give up the safety and get a chance to punt this ball.
Buford doesn't have anybody back yet. Now they're going to put Ty White back there. Keelan Davis standing inside his 5 to kick. Going to put on a return here. Line drive caught by White. This could be a touchdown. And did he get in? They're going to touchdown. You could see that one coming a mile away on the line drive kick. 22-yard kick, 42-yard return, and it's 30-0.
Finally challenging the punter. He's had to field a lot of balls that have bounced to him. This time, short kick, grabbed it before it hit the ground, and then the kind of athlete Ty White is here, stiff arm with the left hand, fumbled the ball actually into the end zone. As you saw him break the pylon, Curtis Gilbert did pick the ball up.
So here's Ventura. We'll take another look at that. He might have fumbled the ball before he broke the plane. And Ventura's kick is up and good. And it's 31-0. Another look at the 42-yard punt return. Touchdown by Ty White. Trying to stretch for the pylon. He fumbled that ball before he broke the plane.
Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
Every game day celebration, every championship title begins here with hours of unseen work. As part of our commitment to education, Georgia's EMCs support the young athletes who play high school sports in the communities we serve, empowering talent with scholarships, honoring sportsmanship, saluting the game changers. When we champion the energy behind the scenes, they can step into their future and shine. Georgia's EMCs, official energy provider of the GHSA.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Cigna Healthcare.
So Osiris Gilbert actually gets credit for the touchdown as he recovered Ty White's fumble in the end zone. You'll see here White trying to stretch for the pylon, fumbles the ball, and Osiris Gilbert standing right there scoops it up for the score. Here's another look at it.
About 2 yards short was White. Johnny on the spot right there was Gilbert for his team.
And I know you're going to say, well, you can't do that. But in high school football, you can fumble forward into the end zone for recovery and touchdown. In college, it would have come back out to the spot of the fumble if the offensive team had recovered. And, of course, the same in the NFL. You can't fumble forward into the end zone because the Raiders tried that tricky move against the Chargers once and won a game. And then the NFL stepped in and said, well, we're not going to have that anymore.
A different Buford team here in this second half, in this third quarter, dominant in special teams. As we saw with the kickoff return and then the punt return, it turned into a recovery for a touchdown.
So 21 points scored by Buford here in the first 7 minutes of this third quarter has blown the game open from a 10-0 lead to a 31-0 lead, and two of the scores have come from their special teams. 85-yard kick return touchdown by Jeremiah Colbert, and then a 41-yard punt return by Ty White, and fumble recovery in the end zone by Osiris Gilbert. And a big run right up the middle. Biggest run of the night easily. Amari Russell goes for 31 yards.
Nice cut right there in the middle of the line by Russell. Good blocking up front. Only a 5-man block, taking advantage of it. Amari Russell breaking out into the open field for one of the biggest plays for Carver in this offense tonight.
Keeper for Shealy. And Shealy down to the 42-yard line. Flag on the ground back at the 49. And you have to wonder, we told you about the tragic losses of the two coordinators for Carver. Of course, on Saturday, their defensive coordinator, Ozzie Harrell, passing away. But back in January, Kevin Bell, their longtime offensive coordinator, also passed away.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. First down.
And Darren Miles did not hire somebody to replace him. And Darren Miles has kind of taken over the offense. He's a former running back himself. Was a running backs coach at Douglas High School. Young man by the name of Jamal Lewis was one of his pupils.
Mr. 2000, Jamal Lewis for the Baltimore Ravens. What a great running back. What a specimen of a running back as well was Jamal Lewis.
No doubt about it. Saw him play high school football right here in the city of Atlanta. Going deep, got a man open, then it is intercepted at the 30-yard line. He was open, but couldn't get him the ball. And look at that, Osiris Gilbert, who just scored a touchdown, comes up with the interception.
Just not able to get the ball out there was Adam Shealy. Has a man running down the sideline wide open, able to recover, ball hanging. Osiris Gilbert able to get back into play, sets his feet, tries to air it out. As you can see, receiver down the field, open. Justin Johnson is open down the field. Just not enough arm strength to get the ball. Gilbert getting back into play for the interception.
And we had one of the officials get hurt on the play. I think the back judge there got tangled up. He's going to try to run it off. You see him smiling. I think he's going to stay in the game. It's Brett Sledge. Gets the fist bump from the Buford training staff, and he's going to stay in there. And Osiris Gilbert, quite an eventful last minute for him. Recovered a fumble in the end zone for a score, and then got his first pickoff of the season. And he's got 9 offers, including Georgia Tech, Georgia, and Florida State.
So much talent in this secondary.
Wayne, if we stay around long enough, we might get offered by somebody just for being here.
College U round here. Just get you a free scholarship. Well earned, though, these players. So talented.
Might just hang around for a while. Someone might offer me something. Raiola going to wing it out here, complete. Ball goes out on the edge to Kyle Carpenter, who's also their punter. But he's a wide receiver and DB who took on the punting responsibilities because he was so good at it. Second down and 6.
A lot of communication going on in this pass game. We've seen this all night long. Just not a smooth operation so far in this game for Raiola.
Ball complete on the other edge, then the ball's out. Picked up by Stone. Josh Stone going to try to take it back all the way, and he will do it. First touchdown of the night for Carver. There are flags down on the field. If it stands, it's a 41-yard scoop and score by Josh Stone, the Arkansas State commit.
Buford is taking the field as though the penalty is against Carver. Most likely a blindside block occurred as the return was going on. Had 2 flags from 2 different areas thrown at that time.
Okay, we're waiting to get the call here from the officials.
Looks like we have a player down on the sideline as well for Carver on about the 8-yard line.
Yep, we do. I can't tell who that is. They're looking at his left leg and now his right leg. Still no signal. That might be Roderick Hunter. I believe it is, number 3. And they can't afford to lose him. Looks like he's going to be okay, thankfully. Let's take another look at it to see if we can ascertain what happened here.
Yeah, action, get the ball out on the edge.
Kemp, great tackle, stripped the ball. Stone picks it up. That might be it right there at the 18-yard line. Saw what might have been a block in the back by Carver. We might have more than one infraction.
Yeah.
But I think I clearly saw a block in the back, pardon me, by Carver at the 18-yard line. Right here, watch it coming up on 22. Yeah, Moss right there takes out the offensive lineman from behind. So that's definitely a penalty if the officials saw it.
Then you did have.
And then I think we have one down here, too.
Raiola right here taking out Hunter's legs.
Yeah.
And that is not.
That's not legal.
That's not legal at all right there. Take his legs from under him.
So we might have. In fact, saw that in the Navy-Memphis game last night, what used to be a play that was highly encouraged by coaches. Take their legs out, you can no longer do. But that used to be, that was, that got you a star on your helmet.
We have multiple fouls on the play. We have a low block on the green. That penalty is declined. We got a block in the back. That penalty is declined. Got a personal foul, blindside block on the white. That's in for the spot of the foul. First down, Carver.
So we actually had 3 penalties on the play. And Buford choosing to enforce the blindside block from the spot of the foul. Now that's the one we didn't see because that's going to, so the spot of the foul, it pushes the ball back to the 40. So that was another that we did not see. Because if the ball's at the 40, that means the blindside block occurred at the 25.
Quick change of possession. People just trying to make plays. Carver excited to get the turnover there. Joshua Stone picking up the ball, trying to stop this avalanche of Buford in the second half. They've gone back with Banks at quarterback. It's Carver.
So Panthers take over at the 40. Ball goes to Stepp on the handoff. And Lateus Stepp. Good run down to the 26. That's a 14-yard pickup for Stepp.
RPO game. Nice job reading the end there by Banks. Stepp, 21, talented sophomore. Definitely has a step. He's shifty and fast, just a guy you want the ball in his hands.
Goes to the short side again on his 7th carry of the game. That puts him up over 30 yards rushing. Of course, Carver extremely proud of Joquavius Marks, the former Carver Panther, now star with the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, replay first down.
So they've got a great history of running backs in this Carver program. Most recently under Darren Miles, Joquavius Marks, who's already set the record for most receiving yards by a Mississippi State Bulldogs running back, and is also just 1 reception away from the all-time receiving record at the SEC school. They could use him right now against this Buford defense.
A lot of talent, a lot of speed here for Carver. And what you love about them is they are still fighting, even down 31-0.
Kemp gets the ball on the reverse, and Kemp still on his feet down to the 20-yard line. Nifty play there by this Carver offense.
I think, nice job, Osiris Gilbert. But I think we're going to get Edric Houston right there. Little chippy late hit. He did throw a flag as he came to the sideline. Wasn't a big hit, but you could see him at the end. Zero comes into your screen, chasing the ball down. As we know, the speed and hustle that he shows, just right here at the end.
Yep.
That little nudge by Houston, I think, is what's going to cost him his personal foul.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense. That penalty enforced half the distance to the goal from the end of the run.
So a 16-yard run by Kemp, and then the personal foul on Houston gives the ball first and goal inside the 10. Play gets whistled dead.
Not sure that the play was called live. I think that's what the stoppage of play is. They snapped the ball before the umpire called time.
going to run it to the near side and barely make it back to the line of scrimmage.
Aaron Holloway hustling there on the edge, making that play, 44. Just running step for step with Montavious Banks.
Holloway's had an active night from that inside linebacker spot. Give him a TFL on that play. So second down and goal now from the 11.
Having to go all the way to the sideline to get the play in is Banks. Coach Miles trying to get the right call here. Desperately need this touchdown to get on the board.
Play clock under 5. Banks being chased, in trouble, takes a sack way back at the 25-yard line. And that was Frazier, the linebacker, with the quarterback sack and a 14-yard loss.
Just nowhere to go with this. Frazier is coming off the end like a buzzsaw. Jaden Perlotti coming underneath with the pressure. Haven't said his name a lot, but that young man right there, the 4-star UGA commit, has been dropping back more, showing you his talent, his versatility, playing more on the second level that time, coming with the pressure off the edge. Just nowhere to go with that ball. No time for Montavious Banks.
Perlotti committed at the end of his sophomore season to Georgia. Heavy rush. Banks gets away, throws it towards the end zone, incomplete. It's going to be 4th down.
Bryce Perry right, hitting his helmet. He knew he missed the sack right there, coming underneath off of the edge, pressure directly in Montavious Banks' face. You can see Carver 4-down territory. They don't do any real field goal attempts, and when you're down 31-0 right now, it's just time to take off all the restrictions, try to get into the end zone.
Carver 0 for 2 on 4th downs tonight, including their opening series of the game when they went for it on their own 29. Banks stands in there, delivers, jump ball, and broken up. Broken up by Kobe Blackwell on the attempt for Favors in the end zone, and the ball will go over on downs to the Buford Wolves.
And nice job by Blackwell at the end, trying, you can see him swing his head around to find the ball, and I think that's what kept the penalty away from him.
Let's send it down to Nelly.
Thank you very much, Matt. Late third quarter here. It is 4th quarter at our web game at gpb.org/sports. And I don't know what it is about second half, Warner Robins and comeback, but they all are in the same sentence. It's now tied at 22 with about 7.5 minutes to go. Warner Robins has come all the way back. That one is square. gpb.org/sports, brought to us by our friends at Breda Pest Management. Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of high school football. Benedictine pulling away from Hebron Christian. Lowndes in a back and forth with East Coweta. Back upstairs to you.
Thanks, Nelly. Looks like a great one going on there in Henry County. And that's a region game, too. Toss goes to McCoy. McCoy trying to sweep to the outside and cut back across the field. Watch out for McCoy. Got a blocker out there. That's the quarterback, Raiola. McCoy cuts back again into the middle of the field and hauled down at the 22-yard line.
Just been a different energy about this run game in the second half. Dylan McCoy showing his elusiveness here, getting out on the edge. Big run initially, and now just cutting back, able to get across the defense, make a couple of people miss. Raiola leading the way, deciding to cut back into the middle of the field and coming up with the big play, pulling the tackle and guard to get to the outside. Just shifty and elusive right there is this young sophomore, showing you the speed. Quarterback leading the way. This run game has just been at a different tempo, and as we talked about earlier in the quarter, it started with Coach App. I don't have to go down to the locker room to know what that conversation was about.
You've been in enough of them, right? You didn't have to hear it to know what was said.
To know what was said, and they have just been playing with a different, in the special teams and especially in the run game. We do have a player down.
Yeah, it's Marcus Young, the linebacker.
Looks like
working on a cramp.
Looks like cramps in those legs. Young middle linebacker with a lot of talent right there, as Coach raves about how much talent He has, and as I've always said, unfortunately at this point in the game when those cramps hit you, when I was his age, I thought the water worked too, but it doesn't. Once it's on you, it's just something you hope maybe will let you play a little more, but most likely it just continues to stay in those muscles. You can't get it out.
All right, let's take a look at Buford's schedule. They're about to improve to 4-0 on the season, it would appear, here tonight. #1 ranked team in the state of Georgia. Got Marietta next Friday night, Collins Hill. They kick off their region schedule, and the big one coming up on October 13th, Mill Creek. Rematch of the game we showed you here on GPB a year ago when Buford defeated the Hawks. The only loss for the eventual state champions last year. That'll be on October 13th. That game likely will decide the region championship.
A young man named Caleb Downs was in that game, if I remember.
A young man named Justice Haynes.
And Justice Haynes, big names that moved over to Tuscaloosa.
You'll remember in that game, first to play, handoff right up the middle. You'll remember in that game, the turning point really was Coach App faking the field goal, faking the punt inside his own 10-yard line, and Justice Haynes running for the first down. That was Bryce Green on the carry.
Good blocking in that middle right there by Clark, Cameron, and Green. His offensive line has definitely shown a different attitude of physicality in this second half.
Final seconds of the third quarter. McCoy the handoff, makes a man miss. Tumbles down inside the 15, close to the 11 on what was the final play of the third quarter. Heading to the fourth at Tom Ryden Stadium in Buford, the #1 ranked Wolves have pulled away and lead at 31-0 heading to the fourth.
DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
In lively towns and peaceful rural areas, Georgia's electric membership cooperatives are on a mission to provide a different kind of electricity. Our not-for-profit, member-owned EMCs are focused on making life better for members. At private residences, farms, and thriving businesses, we work for you, generating safe, reliable, affordable electricity, giving back to local programs, serving our members to make life brighter. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
While we've got a quick break in the action, did you know that the same area of just one football field can contain up to 95 termite colonies? That's why you need Breda Pest Management to defend your home. Breda, the official pest control of high school football.
Let me know if I can help you with anything. Just looking. I only buy local and sustainable, so.
Oh, well, that shirt's not local. You should be wearing cotton. Georgia's a major supplier of cotton worldwide, so if you'd like to buy local to support Georgia, buying cotton's a great place to start. It's renewable and sustainable, naturally.
Thanks.
Now, that's a polyester fiber made of oil, by the way.
Where's your dressing room?
Buckle up, George, as we head to the start of the fourth quarter here at Tom Ryden Stadium. Buford leading 31-0, threatening to score again as we start the fourth period. We will have a running clock since the lead is 30+. Matt Stewart along with Wayne Gandy, John Nelson, and Hannah Gooden, the GPB fabulous sports team, Emmy winning sports team, here with you tonight in Buford, Georgia. Thanks for joining us. And ball is fumbled and scooped again. Michael Johnson picks it up for Carver. And he gets chased down at the 50-yard line. That's the second time tonight this opportunistic Carver defense has scooped the ball and had a big return. That one goes 27 yards and gives Carver the ball.
Big pressure up the field right there by 22 of the defense, making that play. stepping up, making that play right there, knocking the ball out. Once again, Michael Johnson picking up the ball, making a big play for his team. Quentin Moses knocked that ball out, number 22. Nice job by him, the young sophomore.
Look, if this Carver team can find some offense, they're going to be in the mix late in the playoffs in 3A.
Definitely has shown a tenacity on defense to get after you.
Banks now in there at quarterback. He gets swallowed up at the 50-yard line. Buford's got some of their reserves in there. Well, they've been playing a lot of guys all night. Like I said earlier, you know, a 2-deep depth chart doesn't really do you a lot of good when you work a Buford game because they're going 3-4 deep at a lot of positions. It's one of their secrets to success. Ball is thrown incomplete out on the edge, and that is Brian Appling does a good job of keeping all his players engaged. They're really good, and they all get a chance to play.
Rotating, he makes you unselfish. That's why you come and sometimes you look at the numbers and it don't tell the whole story.
Yeah, they never have big stats.
Because you got 3 or 4 guys at each position. You might only, as a 3 or 4 star running back, get 8 touches in a game because they're so deep at so many positions.
Banks, here comes a heavy rush, and he's in trouble, going to take a sack back at the 45-yard line as the Buford Wolves are starting to feed.
Nice job, James Morrow, 86, working to the ball there to finish off that sack, coming with the pressure when you're up 31-0. Coming out of that secondary, you see 86 right there and 87.
Morrow's got 9 offers, including the Georgia Bulldogs. He's a 6'3", 215 sophomore.
Just talent behind talent. And the humbleness for these young men to play behind each other. You know, in today's game, so many people leaving to go to other places. These players are willing, and the stars that are out here now are guys that were willing to sit and wait.
Kick by Davis. Hits at the 35, and Ty White's not going to get a chance to return it this time. And so that's where Buford will go on offense following a 25-yard kick.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom.
It's a really nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being.
Back at Buford, the #1 Wolves going to win here tonight. They've opened up what was a 10-point halftime lead, made it 31-0. Matt Stewart along with Wayne Gandy, John Nelson, and Hannah Gooden. Stick around. Coming up, the postgame show. John Nelson will be awarding the Georgia Cotton Commission Player of the Game Award. And then if you missed this game, as always, if you didn't know, we replay it at 11:30 tonight in its entirety on GPB. So Buford back on offense, working with the running clock here in the fourth quarter. That's McCoy with a short game.
Nice job, Jaden Dowdell. How many times have we called that name tonight? Still playing. Look at the energy right there. He knows that him and his defense, they came to play tonight. They have done a great job fighting, shutting down this run game in that first half, giving their team a chance with some turnovers. We talked about that. And they still are playing, still showing that feistiness.
You see the passion of Jamontez Hines. This result not sitting well with him. Better days ahead for this Carver team. I mean, they were facing an uphill battle, and we all knew that. But they gave Buford a really strong fight. And when you think about it, 31 points on the board. The defense has only allowed 17. Two of the touchdowns out of the 4 that Buford has scored tonight came from special teams. So the defense has only given up 2 touchdowns to Buford tonight in a field goal.
Tough inside. This defense is just rallied to the ball, face multiple backs, and you've just seen, as you said, Matt, you play this kind of defense, you can take this defense on a road like Buford. It just holds so well for you going into the future as region play comes around.
Carver's going to be off next week before they play Peach County. And as John pointed out, there's only 3 other teams in the region, and it is a tough region. There is not a break in the region. You got Cedar Grove, you got Sandy Creek, and you got a much improved Douglas team. McCoy on the carry, and that was Josh Stone coming up to make the tackle.
Stone and step out there. Nice job of Stone not letting the ball bounce to the outside. Good tackle, good effort getting to the ball by step to bring down McCoy.
It was great conversation with both these coaches. You know, I'll be the first one to confess, these are 2 of my favorite coaches that we deal with. And our conversations with Coach App and with Coach Miles both went over an hour long. We spent a lot of time talking to them this week. And the loss of Coach Harrell really hit this Carver team hard because they almost got the block right there. Going to go over the head of the receiver. But as Coach Miles pointed out, the coaches at Carver are so much more than football to these guys. They are father figures to these guys. It's so much bigger than the X's and O's. We'll step aside with 5:42 to play.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Today's conservation-minded consumer cares about where their energy comes from. Your local EMC cares too. Georgia's electric membership cooperatives offer renewable options for our members. In fact, our solar portfolio will produce enough clean energy to power more than 180,000 households, striving to move the needle toward progress and position communities for the future. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
While we've got a quick break in the action, did you know that the same area of just one football field can contain up to 95 termite colonies? That's why you need Breda Pest Management to defend your home. Breda, the official pest control of high school football.
Halfway home here in the 4th at Tom Ryden. The web game is a shootout officially. I'm nominating it as such at gpb.org/sports. Warner Robins has come all the way back. Under 4 minutes to go, they now lead on a touchdown pass by Judd Anderson. 29-22. They could even things up if they hang on here for the final 4 minutes. Dutchtown with the football in their half of the field, but they've got some work to do, Matt. You mentioned Peach County, Matt. They're trailing big tonight against Perry. Back upstairs for the rest of the game.
They have not won this season. And, of course, Marquise Westbrook who led Warner Robins to 2 state championships and played in the state finals last year, made the jump to Peach County at the end of last season. They have not won this season. Amazing. And that'll be the next opponent for Carver 2 weeks from now.
Nice pitch and catch there to Sheely, to Hill. Very explosive Hill out there on the edge. Just a quick step, deliver the ball. And this coach Miles' team, they're going to fight. They're going to keep playing. They understand what they came to and the kind of talent they were taking on tonight.
Sheely makes a man miss, tries to get to the far sideline and does, and makes something positive come out of that play, and then tumbles at the end of the play, grabs his left knee. Oh my goodness. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
Great job of improvising, know where to go with the ball, and just don't want to see that. Right here, getting out of that sack, out on the edge. And here, just trying to stop. And it just looks like at first it looked like maybe he did get hit there at the end a little bit.
He just tripped over the
just tripped
defender.
over.
So Banks back in there at quarterback. And that's a first down carry up close to the 50.
Tough run by Step inside. This young man here, only a sophomore, has a bright future. Saw him against Calhoun, ran an 81-yard touchdown, a lot of speed.
Under 4 minutes to go. Step on the carry, protecting the football, down to the 43. I'll be interested to see how this Carver team develops as this season goes on.
Big question at quarterback, as we've been mentioning, which guy to go with, which gives you a better chance.
Ball fumbled right there, recovered by Buford at the 46-yard line.
Just fumbled on the handoff right here by Banks.
Ball goes over on downs. We'll step aside for the final time and come back and finish up the final 3 minutes.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to be safe on every trip. Buckle up, Georgia.
Riding down the road and you're doing just fine when a car in front of you crosses over the line. They're in your space, not looking at your face. Distracted drivers all over the place. Say, we will buckle up. Sing it. Say, we will buckle up.
DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Be kind to your mind. Live drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and living a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
$31-0, Buford leading Carver Atlanta as the Wolves get ready to go on offense, perhaps for the final time tonight. Tremendous environment, as it always is here at Tom Ryden Stadium on homecoming night. And I think you hit the nail on the head when we first saw each other tonight. You said this is like Friday Night Lights.
You forget sometimes how big football can really be on the high school level. And you pull into Buford and they're tailgating, and you just feel like you're at a Bama-Georgia game with the fan participation. But what a great atmosphere they provide here for their players and students.
And Dayton Raiola, Dylan's little brother, well, younger brother, we shall say, the sophomore, who's 6'3", 205, so he's a little bit smaller than Dylan, getting his first snaps as a Buford quarterback.
Well, he has 2 years. You got to give him 2 years to catch up to his older brother, but a lot of talent, big arms, just like his brother. Looks like he's going to end up in that same size.
Well, like his father Dominic, who was interviewed when they made the move from Phoenix, Arizona to Buford, Georgia, said, I mean, this move isn't just about Dylan, it's also about Dayton. So Dayton, the sophomore, and the #2 quarterback behind his brother Dylan, getting a chance to get in a Buford football game.
Julian Jordan right there, this defense. Nothing to hang your head about if you're a Carver on defense tonight. You really have to salute the way that these players just kept fighting and scratching. And as we said, the score tells you one story, but defensively, this team did a great job, especially with the loss of their coordinator last week. Coming in, played inspired football.
3rd down and 10. Of course, Dylan and Dalton's dad, Dominic, starred at Nebraska, was a 2nd-round draft pick, played 14 years in the NFL. All of them with the Detroit Lions. He didn't start any games his rookie year, and then he started every game after that.
Tough man. It's something that I was able to also. I started as a rookie with the Rams, but sometimes that aspect of the game, as we forget, guys that can show up each and every Sunday. Be able to answer
the bell, man.
You got to be able
to answer the bell.
Have to come in and play. That's more important than anything.
Fourth down, and the Wolves going to punt it away. And they will have to punt it away. They can't run out the clock here. And the punt by Carpenter. Going to hit at the 20 and be down there. Carver's going to get a chance to run one more play. Well, maybe not. They keep the clock running. I thought they did stop it for a change possession, but they're not going to do that with the running clock. And so this game is going to end with a 31-0 win for Buford. Wolves now 4-0 on the season. And next up, hosting Marietta next Friday night, and then their region opener 2 weeks from tonight when they play at Collins Hill. Carver put up a good fight tonight against a much bigger team, the 3A team playing the 7A team. Carver drops to 1-3. They got a couple of weeks off before they host Peach County at Lakewood Stadium. And the two old friends, Brian Appling first met Darren Miles. Miles and Appling's mother were teachers together at Bethune Elementary in Atlanta. And Coach App says, I've known Coach Miles since my 10th grade year in high school. He was a real mentor to me early in my career.
Tremendous respect, both coaches. Tremendous respect for both programs, and they really displayed it tonight. You really have to remember Carver coming in with the loss of a coach, playing inspired football. No excuses by Coach Miles. Said his team was going to play, and they were going to play hard. They did that, especially defensively. And Coach App, I know if we had a subplot, the moment of the game was that halftime speech for him. He got his troops going here in the second half.
31-0, Buford with the victory here tonight. As they get the shutout, their second shutout of the season, open the season with a shutout of St. Francis out of Baltimore, the #1 rated team in Maryland in their classification. So a big 31-0 victory for Buford. Let's send it down to John Nelson.
Thank you very much, Matt. Now it's time to catch up with Coach App. We talked about the story about how much your lives, you and Coach Miles' lives, have been intertwined ever since you were a 10th grader. The respect obviously shown here tonight. What did you learn about yourselves tonight against someone who means a great deal to you?
I mean, like I said, we go way back. He worked with my mom for a long time in Atlanta Public Schools, and he means a lot to me. And I know they're going through some hard stuff around there for the last year or so. And I just try to text him, call him. I don't hang out with him enough, but because he's a great mentor, and he's taught me a lot. He taught me something my second year in coaching. I was back at Lithonia High School, and just stayed in touch over the whole time. So I learned that we're still a resilient bunch. We still got a lot to learn, a lot of growing to do. I'm proud of him to an extent, but I'm also upset that we wait so long to get going. You know what I mean? Glad the special team stepped up. Glad we made enough plays on offense to feel good about what we did tonight, even though we left some points out there a couple times. But, it's early in the season. We got a long way to go.
I was going to ask you, what'd you tell them at the half? Because I know when we talked, you were less than pleased.
Yeah, I was. But, it's not a whole lot of yelling going on about football. It might be about effort and care and pulling for your team, your teammates. But it's not a lot of yelling at them about football. It's about, doing what you're coached to do. You know what I mean? We don't really turn over tables or anything like people think we do. It's just a lot of coaching going on, a lot of correction, and they came out and played better.
Thanks for your time, App, this week. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Hot tag. Dylan, come on in. Our Georgia Cotton Commission player of the game. Well placed. Nicely done. It's almost like you've done this before. The Georgia Cotton Commission, the natural choice for Georgia, our natural choice for player of the game, through for 1.5 and 2. What was the conversation in there at the halftime? You were only up 10-0, and their defense was pretty stout. What was the conversation like?
It was really just not football-related things. It was all things that, we could control. Just our effort, how we, cheered each other on, the sideline energy. So it was just stuff we had to fix off the field that we know that would lead to on-the-field success.
And at the same time, as a senior leader, I know that you want to make your stamp on that as well. What were your conversations? You can break secrets here if you want, but what were your conversations and all of your ideas like in there to make sure that everybody was on the same page in that third quarter?
It was just flush the first half. We knew we couldn't remember everything that happened in the first half. That was going to be done, and that we needed to come out and put some points up, and that we did that. I'm proud of our team for that, but we need to get started faster and take care of the football.
Where do you think this team is right now, knowing what the end goal is supposed to be? Where do you think you are right now as a team?
I think we're a long way from where we want to be. Obviously, state championship is the goal, but we just got to keep learning, keep doing things the right way, and taking those many steps. We can't miss steps and, grow as a football team and grow as a family.
Thanks for your time, Dylan. Appreciate it all week long.
Yes, sir. Go Dogs.
Dylan Raiola, Georgia Cotton Commission player of the game, threw for 2 touchdowns tonight and 1.5 spins across the board. Matt, dominant third quarter after a fantastic defensive effort from Carver to start things out, only giving up 10 points, 31 on the board by the time we got to the fourth. Buford still top 10 nationally as we leave here. Tom Ryden, back up to you.
Yeah, and Raiola gave you a go Dogs there at the end of that, of course, committed to the Georgia Bulldogs back in May. And I thought the other big story, Wayne, as we reflect on this game, number one, the special teams really bailed them out in that third quarter, the touchdown run by Colbert and then the near touchdown run on the punt return by White. But also defensively, really super impressed with Bryce Perry Wright, the sophomore defensive end. I thought Bryce Perry Wright was dominant at his position tonight.
Very unblockable tonight. I mean, he was coming off the edge. He was stunning underneath, knocking guys' hands off of him. You add him and his production as a sophomore with Edric Houston, and you can see he demands a double team. The way this defense plays, Perlotti and the secondary with so much talent, this offense just seems to have to get that run game going. The offensive line in the second half did a great job of playing with more physicality, and you could see the passing game, the play-action game coming along with Raiola.
Final score, 31-0. Join us next Friday night. We'll be coming to you live from Grayson as the Rams welcome in the Lowndes Vikings and the return of their former coach, Adam Carter, that has Lowndes off to an undefeated start. 31-0, the final for Wayne Gandy and our entire team. I'm Matt Stewart. Good night from Buford.